recording. Awesome. So welcome to the Women Action Takers Networking Group. I'm your hostess, Linda Sunshine West, and just share that this group, was created because I realized that for so many years of my life, I didn't do a lot of things because I wasn't taking action. And I decided that if I want to be an action taker myself, I need to hang around action takers. So I started meeting, different people in my life. And, Ruben, actually our guest speaker today, is one of them that I met, who is an amazing action taker. And, these people in my life have become mentors and coaches to me that have helped me to, keep going, like even when things get rough, just get back up, dust it off and keep going. And it's really amazing how when we set our mind to that type of mindset, that we can really go through just about anything, anything he throws at us. Like I remember there was one event I was putting on, and it started at 11, and by 11:15, and I kid you not, this is San Diego, July of 2015. It's July, it's like 80-90 degrees out, and we got pummeled with the most amount of rain San Diego has received in its recorded history ever. It was rained like cats and dogs. It was crazy. Some states are used to that. We're not used to that. So it was crazy. At the end of the day, when I tallied everything up and I saw how much money I lost, because it was like $70,000 that I lost. I dusted it off and I said, you know what? I'm going to get back up, and next time it's going to be better. Next time we're not going to do this. Next time we're going to have a rain or shine clause so everybody can't ask for their money back. That was one of my huge mistakes. So the point there is that, we have these things that go on in our lives, and how we handle them is really what keeps us going, and what, it makes us strong. It makes us stronger and stronger. So excited today. What we're going to do is I'm going to share with you how I'm going to be changing the structure of the event starting in January. So first of all, I want to let you know that starting January, we're going to be on the second and fourth Saturday every month. So I was alternating them. That got it kind of confusing because some months it was the second and fourth, some months it was the first, third, and fifth. So it's going to be the second and fourth Saturday every month at this time, 11 a.m. Pacific time. So that's the first change that I'm going to be making starting in January. And then also I'm going to change the structure and the way it works. And I'm super excited to, I love trying new things, just to see, what works well, what doesn't. If it doesn't work, let's dump it. But if it works great, let's keep going and let's just make it better and stronger. So some of the things we're going to do starting in 2021 is that I'm going to invite, the ladies in the group to start speaking, and we're going to do some open mics. So this is opportunities for you to speak for up to 5 minutes, where you'll have an opportunity to talk about, the topic that you want to talk about. Now, it's not going to be about sales. It's going to be about you coming and speaking, inspiring and motivating people to take action. It's because women action takers, that's what it's all about. So that's one of the things I'm going to be introducing starting in January. They'll be at various dates. I'll let you know as we go, like which dates will have open mic opportunities. Then you can register to be one of the open mic speakers at that particular event ahead of time. And then in addition to that, we're going to be playing some networking games, because I love having fun. And I realize that I'm not inviting enough fun into the events for myself. This event is not only for you ladies, but it's also for me, right? Like I want to have fun at my own events. I am having fun, but I want to have more fun. I want to have more and more fun. And then in addition to that, the other thing that we'll be doing is having some breakout rooms where I'll be sending, 4 people into a breakout room to kind of get to know each other. We'll have a structure of what that looks like. And I'm also going to be introducing masterminding to this group. We'll be doing some hot seat masterminding, which is a lot of fun. I love doing that. It's an opportunity for everybody to have an opportunity to learn. So those who are coaches or those who have done masterminding, you get what it's all about. For those who haven't done it yet, just watch out. It's going to be amazing. Absolutely amazing. So these are some of the things I have planned for, starting in 20, I don't want to say for 2021, because this could go 21, 22, 23, 24, like that, but starting in 2021. And lastly, before we get started with the introductions, I want to share what I'm relaunching. For 4.5 years, I ran the Women Action Takers Mastermind, and I ran it in a way that I really ran myself to the ground, because I offered 48 hours a month. It was way overkill, way too much time. So I decided to like look at, what were the best parts of that, and to institute that and relaunch my mastermind in a different way. So if you're interested in joining the Women Action Takers Mastermind, go ahead in the chat, or if you're watching on Facebook, go ahead and just put in their mastermind and I'll reach out to you. Put hashtag mastermind so I can easily find it. But the mastermind, what we'll be doing is we will be meeting once a week. We'll be masterminding a couple times a month. And the other 2 times a month, I will be bringing in expert speakers as well as bringing in trainers to train us on various topics in our businesses. In addition to that, we'll be having accountability partners. So how the accountability partners will work is you will be matched up with one person per quarter. The mastermind will run for a whole year, but you'll be matched up with one person for a quarter, and you will check in with each other. I can't tell what you will do, but I can tell you how I plan it to happen is you'll check in with each other just for 5 minutes every single day. How are things going? How can I support you? How are things going? How can I support you on a daily basis? Imagine having somebody every single day, just touching in with you to see how you're doing and seeing how they can support you. So if you're interested in hearing about that, please just put hashtag mastermind. Again, if you're watching on Facebook, put it in the Facebook there, in the group. And if you're watching here right now in the chat, go ahead and, put it in the chat there. So with all that said, I got all that out of the way. I'm so excited because I made my notes and I made it through them in less than 6 minutes. Yeah, boy. So I'm on schedule. So what we're going to do today, what I want to know, we're at the end of the year. 2020 has been a weird year for everybody. No matter who you are on this planet, it's been different than you've ever experienced in your life because of the pandemic, whether it's not being able to eat out as much, or it's, having a harder time with customers, or maybe your business exploded because you figured out a way to shift so that you offered a product or service that is, had helped people during the pandemic. I don't know what it is, but what I want to know today, as we go around, we're going to do our 30-second commercials. But instead of introducing, who you are and what you do, what I want to know is, what are your goals for 2021? What are your goals for 2021? Where do you see yourself at the end of 2021? I'm just interested to find out where everybody's going. And if this is a tough thing for you to do, go ahead and take a couple minutes. And, if you need to skip, I'm still going to come back to you. You're not going to skip and get out of it. You can skip so you can, write some notes down. And I totally get that because, sometimes we need a little bit extra time. Some people need to think, we think differently. We all think differently. And so I'm going to go ahead, and what we're going to do is 30 seconds each. And I'm going to call on you in the order that I see you on my screen. And just so you know, sometimes it jumps around and I might miss somebody. If I miss you, it wasn't intentional. If I missed you, it was just because your name jumped around and I didn't see it. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start first, just to give you an idea of, how this is going to look. And then I'm just going to call on you. If you need to skip, no pressure. Just say, I'm going to skip, but I will come back to you. Just remember, I will come back to you. Okay. So let me get my timer going here. I gave myself 30 minutes. I meant 30 seconds. Okay. 30 minutes would be a little too much. Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Linda Sunshine West with Women Action Takers. And my goal for 2021 is to have my mastermind filled with amazing women action takers who not only have taken action for the whole year, but they have leveled up further than they ever imagined that they would. Because, we can only level up as far as we think we can. But when you get into an environment where you're surrounded by positive, supportive, uplifting people, you will up level further. And I'm here to help you do that. Bam. Look at that. 30 seconds. I made it. Awesome. So Ruben, I'm going to come to you last. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So you have time. So, okay. So first up, Kathy. Kathy, are you available to unmute yourself, and are you ready to rock and roll, girl?
Yikes, you're going to pick on me first, are you?
Well, I wouldn't call
All
it
right.
picking on. I say having the first opportunity.
Well, thank you for picking me right now, because as a few of you know, I've got a ferocious puppy that I live with. And at the moment, she is sleeping. So Yay. This is perfect timing.
You're up, girl.
Let's see. So I'm Kathy Dirksen. My company is Inspired Tenacity. I'm just introducing a bunch of new events that I'm doing. So I'm in the middle of kind of creating all those upfront things to show everybody. So I've been in the middle of a lot of big, juicy projects this year, getting things ready to roll. So 2021 for me is going to be the year that goes boom. It's all going to happen.
Boom. There we go. Awesome. Thanks so much, Kathy. Thank you. Next up, we have Corinne. You ready?
Sure. You're never really ready, right?
Always ready.
Everyone, my name is Corinne Kivett. I'm the creator of the Evolution Room, and I help entrepreneurs do business on purpose. My goal for 2021, I'm also a neurolinguistics programming trainer. So we have our first in-person training in 2021. So I want heart-centered entrepreneurs who want to make a difference in their lives and others' lives.
That's you have a number on that? Like how many people?
Yeah, 20.
Awesome. Awesome. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Next up, we have Daya. Did I say it right? Is it Daya or Daya?
Daya.
Oh, darn it. I had
No,
a 50-50 chance.
You did. There's actually a whole nother pronunciation, but we'll go into that later.
Okay.
So
cool.
anyway, I'm Daya Naif with the Success Partner, and I'm a professional coach. I specialize in working with women attorneys, previously an attorney myself. And 2021 will be a reboot of 2020. I had some amazing plans, amazing things lined up, including large scale public speaking, which will still be small scale public speaking into 2021, and also expanding my team toward the end of 2021.
Awesome. And do you have a number on that?
Expanding my team by 2, and I'd say 1 medium-sized speaking event a quarter.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Sure.
Next up, we have Elizabeth. Are you available, Elizabeth? I see you're on audio. Are you available? Oh, I didn't look at the chat.
Hi.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Hello.
Yes.
All right. Sorry, I'm just, I didn't want anybody to see how I looked this morning. So
you're all good.
I've uncovered. Okay. So for my goals for 2021 is to move out of the state of California and start a new venture and chapter, more than likely in Florida. I'm going to launch my medical alert kit, and I want to physically open up my eclectic boutique. So I'm not going to do it online. It doesn't bring me any passion and joy. I'll be setting up like a Facebook store stuff so people can do things, but I'm a more in-person help people. So, but I'll be opening up that in Florida. I'll be flying out there this week or next week for the holidays to visit my sister, and I'll be house hunting and looking for places to open my store. So
congratulations.
That is my plan.
That's awesome. Awesome. Congratulations. From one warm weather state to another warm weather state. Pretty smart.
Of course.
Next up, we have Gina.
Hi, everyone. My name is Gina Wong, and I am from California, so sad to see you go. I'm a living benefits specialist, so I help people basically plan for those what ifs. So life insurance, you don't have to die to use. My goal for 2021 is to help at least 100 families so that they don't have to go through financial hardships like we did when my dad was sick with cancer.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much for what you do. Thank you. Next up, we have Hillary. Are you available, Hillary? Okay, if I don't hear. Hillary, are you available? Okay, so I'm going to skip to Lorinda. You ready? Where is she? There you are. Okay.
Hi, I'm Lorinda Roper, and my business is Expert Virtual Services, and I bring peace out of chaos for my clients by managing their content, their day-to-day operations, emails, and calendars. And my goals for 21 is I'm going to hit 100,000, and I want to add at least 3 new clients.
Awesome. Congratulations. Is that 100,000 clients? 100,000.
Yeah, I wish. And start a new team. So.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Wait, I just have this message here. Okay. Next up is Hillary. Are you available? I should.
I got
okay,
it.
awesome. Hillary, you're up.
Hi. Yeah. I'm Hillary, and my product is Holy Locks. It's with a hyphen, and my company is abbreviated BFP. I originally had it Brain Fart Productions, but I'm trying to hide the name because it's different products I was figuring out. Anyways, but my product helps women, and that's what my goal is to help women get ready every day, especially women that have to put their hair up in the industry. It's also decorative. It's convertible.
And what's your goal? What's your goal with it?
Just to get awareness out there, have successful marketing campaigns, and just to help these women have a easier lifestyle where, you know, if they want to grow their hair longer, it will be much easier. And, you know, just to make their lives easier. I like it. And I just wanted to introduce what I discovered. It's patented. And, you know, now I just want to get it out there in the marketplace with market penetration.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Awesome. Congratulations. Next up, we have LaToya. Are you ready?
Hello, you beautiful women.
And man.
My name is gentlemen. My name is LaToya. I'm from Worcester, Mass. I currently am a substance abuse counselor working with men in recovery. My vision for 2021 is stepping into my becoming, taking risks, going all in. I'm looking to start a women's transformational program called the I Am Foundation for Women, allowing them the opportunity to get to know themselves and be able to discover who they get to be now versus who they used to be and what they weren't. So I'm looking forward to a great 2021.
Awesome. Look at that for timing. Did you have your timer set? So you make sure
No, I actually didn't.
That was perfect. Awesome. Well, welcome, welcome. Next up, we have Laura.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Hey, my name is Laura, and I own a business that has a mission to help women love their bodies and fix their relationship with food. It is rooted in the belief that you have to fuel your body properly to work and love us back. And this goes with my 2021 goal. I own multiple businesses, but this one is the one I want to get off the ground this year. My hope is that with my experience as professional and the science approach that I have, based on the Masters of Exercise Science that I'm currently enrolled, I can help women through these hurdles that they experience, because I think we all have this little inicky person that is telling us bad things about.
Okay, so the goal then is to launch the program?
Yes.
Awesome.
And to help at least 20 women.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, no worries.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, next up we have Lorna. So 30 seconds does go kind of fast. So
sorry.
No worries, no worries. Lorna, you're up.
Okay, just 1 second. So 2021, I'm actually launching a whole new program, and because it's just getting launched, it doesn't have a name, but I'm going to be helping entrepreneurial women add additional passive streams of income to their existing businesses so they can work less, earn more, and do it from anywhere. Like Tara, a massage therapist who for 18 years has been doing this for 18 years and wanted a portable business so she could travel. Or Pat, a coach of over 16 years who knew if she didn't do something different, she was never going to retire. So I'm actually interested in also finding people who can supply resources to those women. So please get in touch with me if you feel you have a resource for business women.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. Next up is Margie. Margie, where's Margie? Oh, there she is. Okay. Hello.
Hi, Linda. Thank you. I'm Margie. I'm a speaker, an author, and a coach. And my goal for 2021 is to create 21 six-figure earners. And I would also like to have 10 new coaching clients per quarter. I'm in women's empowerment. My company is called Breathing Forward, and I'm launching 2 programs. I am 10 toes in, and also pivoting to the next level with a whole social media upgrade.
I am 10 toes in?
Yeah.
What if you only have 9 toes? Then you're out.
Yeah. I know. I thought about that too. We'll be flexible.
Okay, there you go. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. Michelle.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for, let me hit my 30 seconds too, so I am on key. So I'm Michelle O'Neill, and I am focused on growing my tribe to 1,000 dynamic, phenomenal, forward-moving women and running 7 group classes this year. Call me the revisionist. I'm CEO and founder of Mastering Your Monday LLC, and I love helping highly driven women stamp out feelings of overwhelm, burnout, and the inability to move forward and master the practice of thought over circumstance. And I help them set powerful boundaries to accomplish the things that they value most in life.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Welcome. Okay, next up we have, let's see, Sandra.
My time to. Hi, everyone. My name is Sandra. I am a human in planet Earth living in the Amazon rainforest of Peru. Back there, what you see is actually my place in the middle of the rainforest, the highest point in nature on top of a kapok tree. I have been working 12 years in conservation of wildlife and reconnecting humans with nature. For 2021, I want to bring together as many conscious, aware, awakened spiritual humans that want to contribute to make a difference in our planet, to help our species be thriving in the future to come. If you want to connect with me to learn options, you can come to the rainforest and experience this amazing place, and or reduce your carbon footprint as a business owner or as an individual, please, I'm your person, and I hope to get connected.
Yeah, we're talking about doing a Women Action Takers retreat down in the Amazon. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and do #retreat in the chat there. Also, if you're watching us live on Facebook or watching the replay on Facebook, go ahead and put #retreat if you want to learn more about that. We're talking about doing that in 2022. We'll be going down to the Amazon. And actually, before we move to Ruben, I'm going to have Sandra just explain, if you can keep it, not now, Sandra, but at the end of the introductions, keep it to 2 minutes, sharing with them what we're going to be doing while we're down there. Okay. Awesome. Okay, awesome. So next up we have, let's see, Sherry. So Sherry, what we're doing is introducing yourself and then sharing with us what your goal is or goals are for 2021 and keeping it to 30 seconds. Are you available, Sherry, to go? Awesome.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry for being late. I had a little mishap, but that's okay. I'm here.
You're here.
So my name is Sherry Leopold. I'm from Springfield, Illinois, and I'm the leader of the Stop Self-Bullying movement. And yes, it is a movement. That is what I'm passionate about, is helping you stand into your own personal power. And for 2021, I just want to help people love themselves exactly as they are today. No qualifiers, not if I lose 10 pounds or I make this money or I hit this rank or whatever, just as you are. That's my goal. So I'm excited to meet all of you, and I love networking. So connect with me. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Linda. I'm glad you were able to get through that hiccup there. I'll have to figure that hiccup myself.
That's all right. No, it was my fault. Thank you.
Thank you. So next up we have, I love how Supriya, you spelled your name out like that. Thank you so much, because that's so helpful. Yes. I appreciate that. So no you're up. Thank you.
Hey guys, my name is Supriya, and I own a company called The Spirit Digital. I'm an intuitive marketing and branding specialist. I've been doing digital marketing and branding for 10 years, and I've actually been a psychic, intuitive, and medium for almost 20. And that's kind of what I do in my business. I combine the both to help my clients get their marketing and branding up to speed. My goal for 2021 is actually want to level up in everything, level up and getting more people in my webinars, leveling up and getting more clients and leveling up in a very major way and getting my content and everything looking amazing.
Awesome. Well, welcome. You might be interested in the mastermind that I'm launching. If you want to learn more about it, do #mastermind, because it's all about being seen, being heard, and being paid. Okay, that's what it's all about. So next up we have, let's see, Heidi. Heidi, ho, ho, ho. Are you available, Heidi, to come on?
Yeah, I can. I'm not on camera.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
I'm in the middle. I was in the middle of cutting my hair.
Oh, okay. You get for 30 seconds, put the scissors down. Let's see.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I am a laughter and lightness coach. I support people in having greater joy, greater freedom in expressing themselves joyfully. And I am putting together a retreat where people can bring those habits into their bodies for everyday life. Joyfulness, lightness, laughter, happiness, creativity, expression.
Awesome. Oh, look at that. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. I can't wait to see your hair when you're done. I see, let's see, somebody sent a message here. Desiree, okay. So Desiree is not able to come on today. I have, next up is Nicole. Nicole, are you available to come on? What we're doing is sharing who you are and just briefly what you do, because really what I want to hear is what your goals are for 2021.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes, and I can see your puppy, so cute.
Hey, great. Yeah, old school picture. It's Nicole Scheffer. I'm feeding my baby right now. I got a newborn. And I'm known as a tech diva, and I love inspiring and sparking success for women in technology careers. And I do that by leading and working in the corporate space and then serving them in a community. So for 2021, my goal is to turn up and turn on all my tools. I've been studying the last 2 months on digital marketing. So turn on my tools and get everyone into my Tech Diva Tribe community, where we're going to work on goal setting together. The problem is women go to 1 or 2 events and it's not a consistent accountability to themselves and to each other. So I'm going to set up a community to do that. So super excited, and thanks for hosting today, Linda.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. Next up, we have Tracy. Let's see, where's Tracy?
Hello.
There you are.
Hi. My name is Tracy Harding. I'm from outside the Boston area, and I would like to let you know that I met my goal in 2020, and it was being an author, and my book is Anna's Big Wish. And I would like you to know that it's a 2-time award-winning book, and 100% of the proceeds go to Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston, Massachusetts. And young readers can travel with Anna as she gets to say goodbye to her recently deceased grandmother, Nana, on her own terms. The book will help children overcome their fears, worries, and concerns about the loss of loved family and friends. My goal for 2021 is to get out there in person, reading this book to the young and the old. And you can see on my website, there's a lot of bereavement resources out there. And the website is annasbigwish.com.
Awesome. Thank you. So if you have a platform that Tracy can, well, I know you want to be out there and, reading, but right now, like we're in lockdown. So if you have a platform that you would like Tracy to come out and, read to some of your audience, please reach out to her. Awesome. Thank you. And next up, Veronica, where are you? There you are. You're not on your boat.
Oh, yes, I am. Check it out. Check it out. Oh, no. My camera is not on, but it's my computer camera. So anyway, I'm Veronica. I'm on my boat and it's miserable here. I'm Veronica Jeans and I'm an e-commerce coach. Actually, I'm an e-commerce coach, but I am the e-commerce queen, right? And I teach people to pitch up consistently to get sales and be profitable. So my aim in 2021, which is around the corner, is to help 10 women become make $1 million for the year, and launch my next 3 books. My book that I launched this year is a bestseller on Amazon, international, by the way. And then, have people come in my workshop and get selling. So I've got 2 clients who are just nearly in the $1 million club. So I'm very excited.
Well, fantastic. Congratulations. So I think we got everybody. Let's click right here. Okay. Okay. So what I'd like you to do now, and I should have said this at the beginning, but I realized halfway through I should have said it. So I said, I'll just wait till the end. Go ahead and put your contact information in the chat there. And, like if you want us to connect with you on LinkedIn, or you want to, Instagram or wherever, go ahead and put your links in there as well, in the chat. And then what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to go find, in just a second here, I'm going to go find the Facebook Live that we're doing right now. And what I'd like you to do is also go into the Facebook group. We're in the Women Action Takers Facebook group, and the video is going to be in there. So that's where I want you to go, and also put your information, because there's people who are going to watch the replay. We always get people watching the replay, and a lot of connections happen after the event. So make sure you go put your contact information in there, and I'll share that in the chat. I'll get that in just a minute. Or if somebody else wants to go find it for me, that'd be awesome. If you can put that link in the chat. And Veronica, I'm going to task you with that. If you can go find us live inside the group and put the link in the chat, that would be fantastic. But yeah, please go back over there, because you want to make sure that your contact information is easy for people to connect with you. Okay. So thank you everybody so much. We made that through in 30 minutes, which is exactly on time, because I always tell the speaker, you're going to speak at 11:30-ish. And how much more ish can you get than 11:30? I mean,
wow,
this is
I'm
awesome.
impressed.
Let's hear it for everybody. Woo, woo. Fantastic. So let's see, what we're going to do next is I'm going to bring up our speaker, and how I'm going to do this is, hold on, I got to go find this one. Okay, I'm going to share a video with you really quickly. This is going to be a short introduction. And first thing I'm going to ask you is if you can hear it, because if you can't hear it, then this is not going to work very well. So here we go.
I'm Ruben Gonzalez. I compete in the Luge in the Winter Olympics. Up to this point, my Everest has been making the Olympics. When I was 21, I was watching the Olympics on TV, and I saw Scott Hamilton win the gold medal. He's about 5 feet tall. I thought, man, if that little guy can do it, I can too. I just got to find the sport. The reason I chose the Luge was because my strong suit was always perseverance. My nickname was Bulldog. And so I thought, I got to find something with a lot of broken bones, and maybe there'll be a lot of quitters, and I just won't quit. I'll outlast everybody. You have to want something badly enough to stick around while the going gets tough, because it's always tough at the beginning. What kept me going was that Olympic dream. Those 2 weeks are magical, and it's worth doing anything for 4 years to get them. Last year, I got the itch again. I thought, I wonder if this old body can still handle it. I'm 47. I'm coming to the end of my sporting career, and so I've got new Everest to climb. In fact, my future Everest is to make the Olympics this 4th time. No one's ever done 4 Olympics in 4 different decades. Not in the Winter Olympics, and I intend to be the first.
So with that, let's welcome our speaker today, Ruben Gonzalez, 4-time Olympian. And I'm so excited to have you, Ruben, because when I first heard you speak at Secret Knock, which was a few years ago, I was like, oh my God, that man's crazy. So when I had an opportunity to, get to meet you and talk to you and, chat with you and stuff, I was like, he's just a regular guy, right? Well, let me take this off, because that's just a little, he's just a regular guy. And he just, decided to do something that, not a lot of people do. So we do have, I know we're gonna have a lot of questions. So what I'd like you ladies to do is, while Ruben's speaking, he is gonna stick around, for us to answer questions, which I'm really grateful for you for doing that. But, going to the Olympics, I have my first question, and then I'm going to let you run. Okay. I'm going to let you bobsled. I'm going to let you luge down the rest.
How long do you want me to run for before we do the Q&A?
About 40 minutes.
Oh, okay. And then we'll Q&A after. Awesome.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, cool. So the Olympics, I know you said, I thought, well, shoot, I'll just find something that a lot of people have a broken bones, get broken bones and stuff, and I'll try that. And then because there'll probably be a lot of quitters. So first question related to that, or my question related to that is that really the case with the luge, or was that just like you had this idea and thought this might be the case? Are there a lot of quitters with the luge?
Good question. No one's ever asked me that. That's a great question.
Yay, that's my forte. I ask questions people don't ask.
You know what? 9 out of 10 people quit a lot of stuff. Most people, let's say not 9 out of 10, but let's say most people quit everything. Okay. They quit med school. They quit architecture school. My brother's an architect, and easily 2/3 quit. Okay, it's a given. Whenever if you don't want it badly enough where you're going to stick around long enough to learn the skills and give yourself a chance, right, to use those skills to reach the dream, then eventually you'll get discouraged and you quit. And so desire is huge. And I'll talk about that in a little bit. So yeah, I think picking a difficult sport was smart, because my strength, my superpower is perseverance. My nickname in high school is Bulldog, right? And so I'm not a great athlete. And so I wasn't going to do it on athleticism. I had to figure out a way to do it on, perseverance, where my superpower would shine. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And that's so true, because, there's a lot of things that I've started that I quit for one reason or another, whether it was because it got too hard, it was like, I wasn't enjoying it, whatever. There's so many different reasons to quit things, and there's so many reasons also to keep going. And so with you, the luge, first of all, that to me looks like the absolute scariest sport, because I don't know, how do you see where you're going?
I'm picking over my chest, right? You're trying to keep your head back so you're aerodynamic, because if it goes up, every time you lift your head, that's another air brake, right? And you want your feet pointed for the same reason. If your feet are like this, it's like you stick your head out of the car window, right? In the freeway, you can feel that. And so I don't want to die. So I'm peeking the whole time, right? I'm peeking over my chest. But the top guys, maybe the top 5 or 6 in the world, are so good that they can use their peripheral vision, and they pick up cues, a tree, a sign, whatever, and they know where they are on the track. And so they can keep, they don't even have to look up. And so how are you going to beat them? They're perfectly aerodynamic, but I can't do that. Okay. There's always somebody that's better than you.
Well, that's awesome. I love it. I don't know. It just looks like the scariest sport to me.
Oh, it's not fun. I white knuckled it for 25 years. I hated it. Okay. But the luge, I understood that the luge was the vehicle. The Olympics were the dream. Right. And so I focused on the dream. The dream gives you strength and power, and energy, everything you need to bust through those obstacles. Right. So that was just the vehicle. And it wasn't until, believe it or not, it wasn't until about a year before my last Olympics that I started enjoying it. And I actually went back 7 years after that. My last one was 2010. And 3 years ago, I went back at 55, and just to see, again, kind of like what I was saying in that video, I wonder if this old body can handle it. And because you're pulling 6 Gs on some of the curves, and your head's hanging off the end of the sled. So it's like somebody's stepping on your head. And I was fine. And I was actually sliding better than ever at 55, because I was mentally stronger. And I went back a couple of months later and qualified for a race. And I became the oldest guy to ever compete internationally in the luge, right? So my coaches say, hey, maybe you got another one in you, maybe you can do 5 Olympics in 5 different decades. Now that'd be untouchable. So who knows,
That's what I was going to ask you, because when is the next Winter Olympics?
Well, that's a good question. The Summer Games, it's up in the air. The next 2022 is Beijing. Beijing is the next Winter Olympics. And then after that, 2026 is Cortina, which is out by Milan. And maybe that one, maybe that one.
I'm doing my math right. You'll be 64.
I'll be an old, one of those fart guys. Yeah. But, the coaches are telling me, it's possible. Right. And that's all I need to know. I don't want to hear you got a 10% chance or you have a 2% chance. I just want to hear it's possible, because most people, they don't focus on whether it's possible or not, right? And that's all you really need to focus on if it's what you want. Most people focus on that percentage. What's the probability? Well, you know what? If I don't do anything, the probability is 0. If I outwork the competition and I listen to my coaches and I keep coming back, then I increase my probability. I control, to a big extent, the probability, right? And so I don't want to hear some guy telling me you got a 15%. That's just negative talk. I don't want to hear that. That's not even a real number.
Wow. Have you always been this way?
I guess so. Yeah. Pretty focused. I get excited about stuff, and I don't like to quit. I'm very perseverant. And the older I've gotten, I've noticed that when I was younger, if I had a coach tell me something, I had to process it through my own belief system, right? And what do I know, right? The coach might be a 3-time Olympian. That was a world champion, right? He's the Michael Jordan of luge, and I'm going to doubt them, right? And the older I get, the more I accept it, right? You want your coach or mentor to have fruit on the trees. That means they've done what they're teaching, right? You don't want a theorist. I would rather have somebody, my mentor, to be a high school dropout, but that actually did it, than to have somebody that's got 5 PhDs and wrote books on it, but never did it, right? You got to have somebody that's done it. And if you do, and they tell you can do it, yeah, so I accept coaching right away. I take action. I don't even think about, is this good? Is this bad? It is good because it's coming from that source.
And have you always been that way? Like, as far as accepting of coaching is like, there's a lot of times when we're like, junior high school, whatever, some of those ages kind of resistant to people suggesting what we should do.
No, that started when I was older, obviously, probably in my 20s. But what's improved is that before, even though I seeked out a coach or a mentor, I didn't accept their advice right away. And so that meant that slowed me down, right? When I started my speaking business, and this is it was a total fluke, okay? But when I started my speaking business, after a couple of months, I was on food stamps, all right? And I realized, oh my gosh, I'm not taking my own advice. I tell everybody to find a coach or a mentor. I'm not even taking my own advice. And so I found somebody in Houston that was a successful speaker. And he made me jump through a bunch of hoops to accept me as a mentee, right? He wanted to make sure I wanted it. I was willing to work. And finally, first time we meet, he says, I don't care if you're a 10-time Olympian, unless you write a book, no one's going to take you seriously, because an author is considered the authority of his subject. He wrote the book on it, right? And he kept going on, and I'm thinking, God, this guy must have a publishing company. He's just trying to sell me on it, right? But I told him, man, I can't write a book. I made C's in English. Heck, my parents celebrated if I brought a C in English. And he said, you got a great story. You write it down like it's a letter to your best friend, that kind of English. And then we'll just give it to some A students. They clean it up for you. That's just grammar. And I said, oh my gosh, I didn't think about that. He says, yeah, it's called editing. So shut up and sit down. I mean, just beating me up, across the head, right? And I'm such a stubborn guy that's the kind of coach I need. They're all mean and tough. But I wrote the book and it became a bestseller. And I'm on number 6 right now, working on number 6. We have over 300,000 books sold and translated to 10 languages, okay? And it never would have happened if he hadn't told me, you got what it takes, right? And that's the beauty of a mentor. We all have all these doubts, these fears, fear of the unknown, fear of failure. I was taking notes when you guys were telling me all your goals. You had such great stuff. Self-bullying, stop self-bullying. We all self-bully, right? And so we come across a struggle. And most of the time it's right here. You just don't believe it's possible. But the mentor says, no, piece of cake, do this, this, and this, right? Get some A students to clean it up for you. What's your next problem, right? And so they speed up the road to success. It's my secret weapon, guys. I don't do anything without finding somebody that's already done it and getting a little bit of coaching. These pictures you see back here, this is Pamplona. I ran with the Bulls a couple of times. But before I went, I read 3 books about Pamplona. I actually called one of the authors. He'd been running it for 20 years, so he's a pro. I told him, hey, I want the experience, but I don't want any extra holes in my body, okay? Can you give me some coaching? And he says, yeah, don't stand in the beginning. It's too narrow, and the bulls are too fresh. You'll die. Okay, got it. Don't stand at the end. It's too narrow. Going into the bull ring, you'll die. Okay, got it. Don't stand in the middle. There's this curve. You get squashed. Okay, well, where do I stand? And he said, go 50 yards past the curve on the right-hand side, and if everything goes well, they'll pass you about 10 feet away. You get the Pamplona experience, no extra holes in your body. Great. He goes, but no guarantees. Sometimes one of them falls, he gets lost. You still get hit, right? And he said the other runners, They're all drunk, okay? The drunks are worse than the bulls. They're totally unpredictable. You know, they might grab you and use you as a shield, right? Because they're all desperate. They're so scared. So he says, if anybody touches you, you know, just use your elbows, get yourself space, apologize later. The sash, you know, we all wear that white and then with a red sash, don't double knot it. If you catch a horn, you know, you'll be hitting your head on the cobblestones the whole way down. That's the worst way to see Spain. So he told me all these things that I never would have thought about, but it reduced the risk. And I was able to do it twice, you know, and live to tell about it. Greg Reed, you know, we did it together. And so that's just what I do. I can go on all day, all the different things I've done, but always with a coach or mentor to, you know, manage risk.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You know what I would love for you to walk us through is two different scenarios. The first scenario I would like to hear about is, and hopefully the other ladies would too, because, you know, I'm curious about this, is what was it like when you first got accepted to be on the Olympic team? And the second one is, what was it like when you actually entered that gate for that very first luge run at the Olympics? Because that was the dream, was the Olympics. The dream wasn't training for the Olympics. The dream was the Olympics.
Yeah, about, let's see, it was December. The Olympics are in February. The Winter Olympics are. And sometime in December of 1987, because my first one was Calgary 88, I get this call. And I was born in Argentina, right? And I came to the States when I was 6 years old. And so I competed for Argentina. I'm Argentina. Well, I was, right? And so I get this call, and it was from Argentina, from the Olympic Committee. It says, what's your shirt size? What's your shoe size? What's your pants size? I'm thinking, oh my gosh, you know, I guess I must have made, they're actually taking me, right? Because they're looking for the uniform size. And I almost fainted. I was so happy, right? I got goosebumps telling you about it right now, right? And marching into the opening ceremonies. I mean, for 80% of the athletes, that's the best part, right? Because just like in any sport, if you think about the football season or the basketball season or any sport, there's only a couple of teams each year that are up at the top that have a chance to win the Super Bowl that year. And everybody else is just kind of, you know, working towards it. So 80% of the athletes, man, our gold medal is marching in the opening ceremonies. We made it. We got to represent our country. We're competing against the best in the biggest arena. And we just won our gold medal. And then, but you're not considered, you know, this is technical, but it's true. You're not considered an Olympian unless you finish your race. And so you still got a race. And then back in Calgary, it was about the top 50 in the world got to go. And so everybody says, well, did you win a medal? I laugh. I said, no, man, I was just happy to be there, okay? But Pablo's from Spain. He's my best buddy in the luge circuit. He's always about 5 spots in front of me. If I beat Pablo, I won my gold medal, right? Pablo, he doesn't care about me because there's this Swede that's always 5 in front of him. He wants to beat the Swede. The Swede wants to beat this Czech guy. The Czech guy wants to beat this Italian. The Italian wants to beat this German that's going to win the gold medal, right? So there's all these pride races within the big race, right? But on TV, they only talk. The only people they show in the luge is the medalists and the crashes, right? So I'm never on TV. But that's how it is. And somebody mentioned, I think it was I was taking all these notes and I can't even read my own writing, but I think it might've been the lady that talked about stop self-bullying. It reminded me about something I was talking about with some guys yesterday. I got to share the stage with Zig Ziglar, gosh, probably 20, 25 times over the years in big arenas. And I learned so much from him. I mean, I was just kind of his shadow, just trying to figure out, you know, what does he do when he signs books? What does he say to people? Where does he stand? You know, how does he, you know, how do you speak to a big audience, you know, because you have these huge lights. It feels like you have a truck about to hit you. You can't even see the audience. And so you're learning all these things. And one of the things that he taught was you have to be before you can do, and you have to do before you can have, right? As you have to be. That means you got to read the books. You got to hang around winners. You have to grow as a person, develop as a person to where now you're ready to face those challenges that were scaring you before, and now you're ready to take action, right? And so now you're doing. So first you be, and then do, and then finally, if you do long enough, you have, right? And a lot of people, I'd probably say most people out there, they have it backwards. Their belief system is, no, I have to do so I can have, and then I'll be that person that everybody admires, or I'll like myself. You have to, but that's all backwards. You got to be before you can do. You have to do before you can have, right? And so that's, te gustó, peruana. So we, Peru and Argentina, we think a lot alike. We're very, it's funny. Every country in South America has its own cultures, but for some reason, Peru and Argentina, even though we're on opposite ends, my best friend is from Peru. So, anyways, go ahead.
You're not Chile, so everything good.
No, las papas a la huancaína me encantan. Okay, that's just between us two.
Okay, wait, I gotta get the translator out and translate that.
No, you'll never be able to translate that.
Okay. Papua New Guinea. No, I don't.
So do you want me to, do you want to just keep doing, this is great. We can just keep doing questions like this, or I can spend maybe 10 minutes, tell you my story, and then that can lead into questions for everybody.
Okay, well, there's that one was like before you go the 10 minutes, that moment you were now in the gate for the first time. You're on that sled and that there's like you don't care about what your placing is at that point, right? Because you've beat your friend, right? No, but you're out on that gate. And it's your very first run. Like, what was that like? What was going through your mind? And did you get thrown off, or just tell me, I want to hear about it.
Are you talking about my first Olympic run or my first run ever?
Yeah, your very good first Olympic run. Run.
That's not that exciting, actually.
Okay, then tell us about your most exciting run. Your most exciting run.
For me, actually, I honestly don't even remember my first Olympic run. Can you believe that? I remember my first run ever when I went to Lake Placid, and I lived in Houston, Texas. Hot, humid, flat, sticky Houston, Texas. Not too much luge going on around there. But I picked the luge. I went to Lake Placid, and it was a couple of months after the Olympics, and it's springtime now. So there's no ice on the track. It's concrete. And so they teach you on wheels. You're going 50, 55 miles an hour on wheeled sleds. All we're wearing is tennis shoes, shorts, and a t-shirt and a helmet. But the helmet doesn't help. If you crash on the concrete at 55, you're dead, right? Or at least, and they call it the weeding out process in the sport of luge. And so I still remember when I first sat on that sled, that wheeled sled, and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm about to take my first, this is the first step in my journey. I mean, I was so excited. And we did a couple of weeks of that just to learn the basic mechanics of driving a sled. Now on wheels, you have a lot of traction, right? That sled's pretty much going to go where you want. But on the ice, most tracks have 15, 16 curves. They're about 3/4 of a mile long. And they start at about 50 stories high, and you're hitting 80, 90 miles an hour. But they put you on curve 10, right? When you begin. They don't put you at the top. That'd be, suicide. That'd be murder. No, you put you on curve 10, you're going about 20 miles an hour. It's like, oh my gosh, this is sled. I can't do anything. Crash, crash, crash. Figure it out. As soon as you figure it out, coach moves you up a couple of curves. Now you're going 30 miles an hour. This is too fast. And you crash, crash, crash. Figure it out. You literally crash your way to the top. It takes about 100 runs. And that's when everybody quits. And when I called Lake Placid, I told them, I'm an athlete. I'm 21. I'm an athlete. In Houston, I want to learn how to luge. I'm in the Olympics in 4 years. And he starts laughing. He says, 21, forget it, man. You're too old. We start them off when they're 8, 9, 10 years old. By now you have 10 years experience. No way, right? He's laughing at my dream, right? You guys ever have somebody laugh at your dream? Yeah, yeah, right? You know what you do? You disassociate from that person, okay? There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with your dream, right? Because it comes from your heart. The only problem in this equation, you know what it is? That person doesn't believe as much as you do. Get away from them, because their disbelief can cause doubt in you, right? Can create, and they can steal your dream. They have that power, okay? So that's why it's so important to hang around winners, because winners will never laugh at your dream. In fact, they'll encourage you. They might connect you with other people that want to, that might be able to help you out. It's great. So anyways, but this guy's laughing at my dream, and he's my ticket to getting in. He's the gatekeeper, right? So I can't hang up. Hanging up's not an option. So I just started talking to him, trying to tell him my story. And I happened to tell him that I was born in Argentina. He gets all excited. He says, if you'll go for Argentina, we'll take you. Otherwise, forget it. I said, why? A minute ago, you weren't going to take me at all. And he says, well, the sport of luge is this close from getting kicked out of the Olympics, okay? We're not global enough. It's just the US, Canada, and a few European countries. We're recruiting. In fact, if you'll go for Argentina, let me check something. Hang on. Yeah, if you go for Argentina, you'll be the first person in South America, okay? I mean, you'd be a whole continent. Oh, I'm a continent now, right? I didn't say that, but I thought that, right? I says, yeah, so will you go? I said, sure, I'll go for anybody. I don't care. I just want to be an Olympian, okay? I want to march. And so he says, okay, well, if you want to do it at your age, you want to do it in just 4 years, because this is 4 years before the Calgary Olympics. He says, it's going to be brutal. 9 out of 10 people quit, okay? And when he said that, I started laughing. I thought, this works right into my plan. This is perfect. And I said, well, what's the second thing? He said, expect to break some bones. And I said, great. And he says, what's wrong with you, man? I told you you're going to break bones. That makes you happy. I told him, I hope it's 10 times harder what you're telling me. I hope it's 100 times harder, because the harder it is, easier it is for me, because I'm not a quitter. I'm bulldog, okay? I was praying that the Germans would quit, okay? Because they win everything. I didn't pray hard enough. They show up, they race, they win. They don't even get excited. I mean, they have another problem now. Where am I going to put this medal? I'm out of room, right? So I went, and he says, we're going to have to compress 10 years of training into just 2 years. You're going to get hurt a lot, okay? He's trying to talk me out of it, but he's telling me what it's going to be like. Because the last 2 years, you have to be competing in the World Cup circuit against the best in the world. And you get points, right? Just like NASCAR, like most sports, you get points for your standing. And right before the Olympics, they tally up those last 2 years. Top 50 get to go, 51 watches it on TV. So will you go? I says, yeah, I'll go. Yeah. And I'm so glad he didn't candy coat it. He didn't make it sound easy, right? Because he even said, you're going to break some bones. And so I got to thinking, I thought, okay, because I've got friends in the military that one thing they teach people in the military is expect the best, but prepare for the worst, right? You got to be ready for the worst. You always have to be, hey, look out. There could be somebody up there, a sniper. You got to prepare. And so I started thinking, okay, what if I break bones? How am I going to handle that? I started thinking, I thought, hey, I've broken bones before. You wear a cast for 40 days, right? For 6 weeks. After that, your bones heal. It's stronger than before. So when you really think about it, a broken bone's a temporary inconvenience, right? So I had a contingency plan. I had, how am I going to handle it if the worst thing happens? And I can handle that. Okay, I can handle it. And so I went, and they put me in a class with 15 other people, all new ones, and they were quitting because they have a bruise, right? They're quitting for stupid reasons. Maybe they didn't want it as much as I did. Maybe they didn't think about, how am I going to handle it if bad things happen? It's just really important to think about that. That's not being negative. That's just being smart. You're still hoping for the best. But over the years, I broke my foot twice, my knee, my elbow, my hand, my thumb, a couple of ribs, but that's just part of the deal. It's a small price to pay if you ask me. But everybody has a different dream, right? You might be thinking, this guy's nuts. Yeah, well, no, but that's my dream. I'm willing to pay the price for my dream. And you have to be willing to pay the price for your dream. We were at church. Our preacher said something really interesting this past Sunday. And I have to order this book, but he said, one of the secrets in life is to understand that cows don't give milk. You have to go and you have to pull the milk out, right? You have to do the work, right? It's not going to come to you. You have 100 cows around you and you want milk. Well, you have to do a little bit of work to get that milk, right? So you got to pay the price.
That's so good. I just imagine, milking a cow. I don't know why, but that's awesome. I love this. This is, there's so many golden nuggets that are coming up right now, of course. And, thanks for sharing all of this. So do you want to go ahead and share your story and then we'll open it up for Q&A?
Yeah, I've already told you part of it, but I'll kind of fill in the blanks. So when I was the luge, you've seen the video. That's a really good video to play before a presentation. I need to start using that. it's the same track where the bobsledders go. You know, if you've seen Cool Runnings, we use the same track. And in fact, you know, Devin, you probably know Devin Harris, right? Linda?
No, I
He's
don't.
one of the original bobsledders from the Jamaican national team. And he's a speaker. He lives in New York. So I can hook you up with him. Maybe
Yes, please
I'm sure
do.
he'd love to speak with you all.
Let's do that.
But so remind me. And so when I was 6, we moved to the United States. And we were in Queens, New York for a couple of years. Then we moved to Houston. Then we were in Venezuela. I was an oil brat. My dad was a chemical engineer with Exxon. Moved around a lot. And when I was, and I love to read adventure books. I love to read, that's how I learned to speak English. All of Jules Verne's books, Around the World in 80 Days, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, all of these books, I used to read them. I had them in English and Spanish and had a tutor and kind of put it all together. And by the time I could speak English, I'd bring these books to school with me. I'd show them to my friends. I said, hey, I want my life to be like a book. They look at me kind of funny and say, what do you mean? And I said, I want my life to be an adventure. I mean, how cool would that be? And so I always had the antennas looking for the adventure. And when I was 10 years old, I'm watching the Olympics for the first time. And it was the 1972 Sapporo Winter Olympic Games, Sapporo, Japan. I'm seeing, and I was hooked right away. I thought, man, that's my dream. That's what I'm going to do. But it was a pipe dream because, see, I'm not a great athlete. I'm a slowpoke. I can't run fast. I can't jump high. I'm not particularly strong. I'm like your neighbor, okay? Picture your neighbor, especially if they're all out of shape. That's my athletic level, okay? A lot of heart, but no body, okay? Just like Rudy. And so I didn't believe it was possible because I'm not even getting picked to do, PE sports like kickball. I was the last kid they picked. It was awful. So I had this dream, but I'm not doing anything because I don't believe. My dad got tired of me talking the talk but not walking the walk. And he got fed up. And he says, Ruben, you like to read books. Why don't you read some biographies? If you'll study the lives of great people, you'll figure out what works, what doesn't work in life, because success leaves clues. And I thought, success leaves clues. That's pretty good. I mean, I don't have to make all the mistakes by myself. I can learn from somebody else. So I started reading them. And I loved them because they were true life adventures, right? And after a while, I realized all these biographies are basically the same story. It's always the story somebody had a dream and they went through a struggle and they had a victory, right? And I thought, okay, there's those dream, struggle, victory, right? And I thought, okay, what's one thing? I can't learn 20 things, but I can learn one. What's one thing that all these people have in common? And it was perseverance. They were just a bunch of hardheads. They refused to quit. So if your mom, when you were little, if she called you a hardhead, right, you're on the right path. You got what it takes. You got to develop it, right? And so I thought, okay, perseverance is the key, right? It's not the guarantee. There's no guarantees in life, but at least you still have an opportunity. You still have a chance. But if you quit, that's the end of your dream. It's a no-brainer. And so as a 12-year-old, I made a decision to change my life. I said to myself, if quitting is the end of your dream, perseverance is the, it's a key. It's a no-brainer. From today on, Ruben doesn't quit anything. And in high school, one day, this kid I'm walking out of the library. This kid walks up to me and goes, you know what your nickname needs to be? It needs to be Bulldog. I said, why? He says, because bulldogs never quit. If a bulldog grabs hold of your leg, he's not going to let go. I said, really? He goes, yeah. So I turned around. I went back to the library and got a book about bulldogs. I want to make sure he wasn't lying to me, right? And it was true, okay? So I like to have my facts, okay? I like to have the facts. But once I have the facts, I put the books aside. I take massive action because action is where the rubber meets the road. Okay, you can be an eternal learner, and that's not going to help you at all. All right, so you got to take action, and making a bad decision, right? Because fear of failure, fear of the unknown. Those are the two things that hold everybody back, right? Because they're always visualizing the worst possible outcome, and that fills them with fear, and they stop. No, if you take action, right, even if you make a mistake, okay, that's better than not taking action. Because if you made a mistake, guess what? Now you have more knowledge. You know what works, what doesn't work, right? And so action is good. And so perseverance. And I played soccer all my life. Little Argentine kids or boys are soccer fanatics, and lived in Houston. And my dad also said, hang around winners. It's the books you read and the people you hang around with. You got to hang around people you have respect for, not people you have influence over, right? You don't want to have all these naysayers. They'll steal your dream. When you associate with successful people, there's always opportunity there, right? There's always an opportunity. When you associate with naysayers, there's always danger. There's danger. Okay, so get away. He says, you can always go back, because there's always somebody in that group, naysayer group that can't stand it, right? So I hate these people. I can't stand. You need to meet my friends. Come over here. You pluck them out of that group and bring them into Linda's group, right? And boom, right? It's the same thing. So, so it's the books you read, and one thing that my mentors would say was that, you got to focus on the dream. Average people focus on what they want. They think about what they want. Not average people, successful people. Average people, they focus on the obstacles, right? And whatever you focus on gets bigger in your life. So focus on the dream. Don't focus that you don't like the luge. Focus that you want to go to the Olympics, okay? And so you do that. And anyways, and another thing it taught me was they think differently, okay? They ask different questions. Questions like, why not me? Why not now? Why not? Those questions, they get your subconscious mind thinking about possibilities, right? Why not me? Why can't I be a best-selling author? I mean, really, why not? And why can't I fill up my group with 20 more people? And why can't I grow my business to whatever? Why not? And you go to sleep in your subconscious mind. You go to sleep, but the mind is still going. And you wake up in the middle of the night with these great ideas, okay? And so it works. And so I found out that Houston Baptist University had an NCAA Division I soccer team. That's the highest level of collegiate soccer. I never even played in high school. My high school didn't have a soccer team. But I started asking myself, why not me? I went and I found out there's a day you could try out. I tried out, I made the team. I even got a scholarship, overnight jock. I couldn't believe it, right? My dad was excited about the scholarship part. But after 2 weeks, coach, he says, hey, after practice, come to my office. I got to talk to you. Go to the office, close the door, sit down. He says, Ruben, obviously you had an incredible day a couple of weeks ago when we tried out, right? Because you're really not that good. You're too slow, man. You're holding us back. The new rule around here is you only get to play if we're winning by 2 goals because you're a threat to our own team. That's what he said. Yeah, he's a real motivator, okay? And so I realized, okay, I better do something to become valuable to this team. I guess I'm not too valuable on the field. And I like marketing, so I just started making posters about the team and trying to get people to come watch us. And I just did anything it took to stay. My new goal in life is don't get cut. and I was on that team for 3 years. And 1 year we drove from Houston all the way to Colorado, and we played Air Force Academy and School of Mines, and we stayed in a cabin up in the mountains. And I thought, oh my gosh, there's no heat and humidity here. There's no mosquitoes. It's beautiful. I want to live here. And that's when I caught that dream. So see, one dream leads to another. Whatever your big dream is right now, it's probably, 20 years from now, you're going to look back and you think that wasn't you. I was thinking so small back then. This is so much bigger. Look at my life now. Right? So none of us know. Okay. But we moved here to Colorado 10 years ago, and I love it. I just love it. And so anyways, around that time, I'm 21 years old. I'm a bench warmer on my soccer team, okay? I mean, I'm playing 5 minutes a game on a good day. And the Olympics roll around again. 1984, Sarajevo, Winter Olympic Games. And I'm watching it on TV. And I see this little guy, 5'1", 110 pounds soaking wet. Little 18-year-old kid wins the gold medal in figure skating, Scott Hamilton. When I saw little Scott Hamilton win that gold medal, he gave me hope. I said, if that little guy can win, I can at least play. I'll be in the next Olympics no matter what. It's a done deal. I just got to find a sport, right? And I'm very analytical. Chemistry, biology, double major in college, right? If you can graph it, I'll love it. And so I started thinking, okay, I'm about to put together a plan for the next 4 years. Probably would make sense to base the plan on my strengths. My strength's not athleticism. My strength's perseverance. I'm bulldog. So I got to find a sport that's tough. I had it down to ski jump, bobsled, and luge. First, I looked at the summer games, right? The whole list. It took me 5 minutes to realize you got to be a super athlete to do any of these things. There's no way. And then when I started looking at the winter, that's when I thought, find something tough. Well, I live in Houston, Texas. I never skied before. So ski jump, suicide. Forget that. Bobsled. Where are you going to find 3 other nuts in Houston? One of the bobsled, right? I mean, you got to go to Jamaica for that. So that left the luge. I had a little picture of a guy on a luge. This is how I picked my sport, okay? I looked at it and I thought, that looks pretty tough. That's the one for me. I'd never even seen the luge on TV before. If I had, no way I would have done that. And so I picked the luge. I didn't even know where the track was. So what do? Well, you got to find somebody that knows. And so I wrote Sports Illustrated a letter, right? Oh, and let me show you a couple things here. Look at that. That's probably, seriously, that's probably half of my books, okay? Because we got books all over the place. I'm a student of success, okay? I love reading this stuff. I've always been intrigued by what makes successful people tick. And so I write Sports Illustrated a letter, and I asked them, where are you going to learn how to luge? And they said, Lake Placid, New York. That's where the track was. And so they sent me this picture, okay? The same picture. I put it in this frame. This is like 30 years ago, more. And I put it in the frame, and it went right in front of my bed in my bedroom. And when I woke up in the morning, first person I saw every morning was the luge man, right? He reminded me, hey, I'm going for the Olympics. Got to eat right. Got to hang around winners. Got to read good books. Got to exercise, right? And got to become strong. And at night, before I shut off the lights, last person I saw every night was the luge man. So what do you think about, I dreamt about it at night. Luge, Olympics. He kept me going, right? Now that I know better, I know that this guy, look, his feet are sticking up like this. He got 2 air brakes right there. His head's way up high, okay? His suit is all raggedy, a lot of wrecks, right? He's a beginner, but I didn't know any better. He helped me get there, right? So he's running from, I look at him every day because my desk is over there, right? And so you got to keep your dreams in front of you, because if you don't, life happens, okay? Life happens. And then 6 months go by, and a year goes by, and a year and a half goes by, and you remember, oh yeah, I was training for the Olympics. I totally forgot. I just blew a year. Oh, I guess that's it. It's true. It's just, it happens like that. And so there's my sled over there. There's one of my sleds. And it's a snowboard. That's marching into the opening ceremonies. These are pins that I traded with some people from the 4 different Olympics. I've been in the sport so long that they keep changing the rules. So I'm on helmet number 5 now. Yeah, I spoke at Notre Dame, and I picked this up. I don't know if you can see it. Play like a champion today, right? I can see that right from my desk, right? So that keeps, that's attitude, right? And so I got airplanes up there because I'm a pilot and I want to get a plane. And so you got to keep the dreams in front of you, right? Let me show you a little bit around here. We play ping pong here. If I could have made it in ping pong, well, that'd have been so much fun. It wouldn't even have hurt, but no, not good enough. Not good enough. Luge, that's it. I ran with a torch right before the Salt Lake City Olympics. That's a Salt Lake City torch, right? It's just an icicle. And here you can't see it, but it says light the fire within. That was the motto, right? About inspire other people, right? Pass the torch of knowledge. That's what we're all doing, right? This is Torino Olympics. This is Los Angeles Olympics. This is my favorite. It's a classic torch. This is the Vancouver. I'm Olympic, people say you're a fanatic, man. You're an Olympic fanatic. No, when an average person calls you a fanatic, that means that to people in this group, you're just focused. You're on track. You're on track. Yeah, it's true. This is my gold medal. This is my gold medal right here. At the close, at my last run in the Vancouver Olympics, I just finished, and my kids, they surprised me. They didn't even have tickets for that section. They finagled their way in there, and they surprised me. Somebody shot that picture and they sent it to me. And so I got pictures all over the place. I love virtual because I can do show and tell. I can show people stuff, and they realize that I live this stuff, right? It's not just theory, right? And so I went to Lake Placid, and I took that luge run, and I wouldn't quit, and I stayed in the game. And 4 years and a few broken bones later, I made it, right? And then I competed in Calgary in '88, and then in Albertville, France in '92, and I quit. I just got tired, I want to try something new. I quit for 6 or 7 years. Then my coach, he talked me into starting again. He says, Salt Lake City, you don't want to miss it. It's the best, okay? U.S. Olympic Spirit is the best. And I started training again. I made Salt Lake, and right before Salt Lake City, I was a copier salesman in Houston. I sold copiers, right? And this little kid, about a month before the Olympics, this little kid in my neighborhood, a little 5th grader, he said, Ruben, when you come back from the Olympics, will you be my show and tell project in school? And I thought, sure, why not, right? I mean, how bad can it be? Now, I'm an introvert. I know none of y'all believe me, but I'm an introvert, okay? I just get fired up when I talk about the Olympics or personal development. I just, it's like Clark Kent turns into Superman, but I'm very introverted in real life. And so, in fact, when friends of mine hear me speak for the first time, like I did something for the church a couple of years ago, and everybody's jaws dropped. They thought, who is this guy, right? I mean, he doesn't talk to anybody, right? They were in shock. I mean, they didn't want to talk to me afterwards because they were still in shock. But anyways, so get this, lousy English, right? Best-selling author, introvert, spoken for over 100 of the Fortune 500 companies, lousy athlete, 4-time Olympian. Okay, if I don't give you hope, you guys are in big, big trouble. Just think, yeah. We all have gifts. We just have to pull them out. And so, so I made the kid asked me to be his show and tell project. I thought, show and tell, how hard can that be, right? It's show and tell for all the kids today, right? So it'll be 5 minutes, right? And so I took the sled, the helmet, the torch. I thought, I'm gonna kill, right? I mean, no prisoners. I'm finally gonna get a gold medal. And I go to the school. The principal takes me to the auditorium. It was really the cafeteria. There's 200 kids sitting in the floor. And he says, you got 45 minutes. Have at them. They turned it into an assembly, but they didn't tell me. I never took a speech class in my life. I thought I was gonna die. And the door looked so inviting. I mean, I almost ran out. And I said a little prayer. I said, God, what do I do now? And what I felt I needed to do was just tell them your story and give them some pointers, some tips, how they can reach their dreams. And I did. And afterwards, the principal is like, wow, you got a gift. You're better than people we pay. You need to do this for a living. And I said, what, you get paid for show and tell? He says, no, man, it's a speaking profession. Don't you know anything? And so I always wanted to have my own business. I just really never knew how to go about it. So it's kind of a dream that was out there. And now this guy told me, you ought to be a speaker, and he was so in my face about it that for the next 3 days, I was thinking, that was actually fun. Maybe I can inspire some people to chase their dreams, and sure beats selling copiers. I quit my job 3 days later. I mean, I don't recommend it, but I quit my job. I thought if I can sell a copier, I can sell a Ruben too. And I just started calling all the schools in Houston. And at first I spoke in schools, and it became corporate, and now it's all over the place. And so, isn't that crazy? So if you take action, and I love that you're the action group. I mean, that is so cool. If you take action, my mentor that told me to write a book, he said, Ruben, this is what you do. Throw mud on the wall, okay? Some of it is gonna stick. We can clean up the mess later. Well, guess what? I've made a big mess. I haven't had time to clean it up, right? Because I'm always finding new walls to throw mud on. And he said, perfectionists, they never get anything done, right? Because they wait for everything to be perfect, and nothing's ever perfect, okay? So just throw mud on the wall, make as many mistakes. When COVID hit in March, all of a sudden we started getting all these cancellations, right? And I thought, oh my gosh. And for about 3 days, I was deer in the headlights. I thought, well, I told my wife, stop buying stuff, okay? I got to figure this out. And then I was deer in the headlights for about 3 days, and I thought, okay, we just need to figure out virtual. So I called 2 of my speaking buddies, and I told them, let's get on Zoom calls, let's mastermind 2-3 times a week, right? And let's all 3 of us make as many mistakes as we can with virtual. Let's try every approach. Let's try everything. Let's make as many mistakes. That way we have 3 times as many mistakes in a short time. And then that's how we're going to figure out the 20% of the stuff that actually works. And let's just keep coming back and sharing, right? Accountability partner. And we share, and we'll figure this out. And we did, and we figured it out. And I love this virtual because, like I said, I can't show people from stage all the stuff that I showed you guys, right? And I'm opening up markets in India and in Poland right now because we're putting together showcases of people that could possibly hire me to speak for their employees, and I'm doing a free one for them, and then that turns into gigs, virtual gigs, right? And so it's great. I love it. I can speak in Beijing in the morning, in Lima in the afternoon, and in Buenos Aires in the evening, and you can't do that with live, right? And so I'm still not making as much as last year, but you know what? Do you think I'm excited about this? Heck yeah, because COVID's not going to last forever, all right? And now I have a new tool in my bag, right? You got to find the good. You got to find the good. And somebody in our group, I have this Facebook group. It's called Goal Achievers, and Linda's such a great contributor. She's a top contributor there. And somebody asked, I asked, what's the biggest challenge that you guys are having in business right now? And somebody wrote just one word. She wrote the lockdown, right? And I don't know where this came. I just started typing. It just kind of, if you just start typing from the heart, or speaking from the heart, it just good stuff comes out. But I said, look, imagine that this is going to go on for the next 10 years. Okay, it's going to be just like it is today until 2030. But you're the only person that knows. You just found out. Maybe you found out from a genie in the bottle. I don't care how you found out. But now that that this is going to be like this. If you knew that this was going to be like this for 10 years, what would you do differently in your business, right? Would you change business? Would you change industry, right? What would you do different? If you treat it like that, you're going to start passing up the competition, because times like these are the times when winners pass their competition, right? Don't watch the news. Don't take the paper. Those people, they make money two ways: make you scared and make you mad. Well, neither of those is going to help your business, right? Don't watch that. Let your competitor watch the bad news and be thinking, we're just going to wait. We're going to wait this thing out. I'm not going to call on anybody for, till it's over. Meanwhile, you're calling everybody. You're having these get-togethers. You're refining. You're sharpening the saw. And then when you're super successful next year, what everybody else is going to call you? Lucky. Yeah, you are lucky. You're in Linda's group. You are lucky. Yeah. So that's kind of the wrap up. Okay, well, I think we can go from there.
Wow, that's so awesome. There's a lot of great comments going on, in the chat over there. And what I want to do, first of all, I just want to share the meeting officially ends at 12:30, which I believe that's 1:30 your time, Ruben. But we always stay for an after party. And I've had people stick around for up to an hour and a half or 2 hours afterwards. And, I'm here. Now, I don't know if you're here that much, Ruben, but I know that you said you would open it up to questions. And so how I want to approach this is, if you have a question, don't type the question in the chat. I want you to be able to ask Ruben the question instead of in the chat. So just type the letter Q in the chat, so I know you have a question, and then I'll call on you as I see them come up. So Margie, you're up. Let's have that. So officially the meeting will end at 12:30. At 12:30, I will take a just small break to say the meeting's officially ended, and then you guys can leave it anytime you want anyway, or you can stick around with us. But Margie, unmute yourself and come on and ask Ruben some questions.
Okay, well, first of all, I just have to thank you, Linda, for bringing Ruben here. And Ruben, you just dropped gold to us over and over and over and over. I haven't been this excited. Like, I'm always excited, but man, you just up leveled it to a different. So thank you. My question is this: you quit at one point, even though you said, I'm not a quitter, but at one point you said, I quit for 6 or 7 years. And then I had to come back and I had to retrain and I had to get myself back. So if that person that had to retrain and come back after 6 or 7 years could talk to the person who was about to quit, me, was about to quit because they just felt like it's got to be easier than this, what would you say to that person that's about to quit instead of, that's what I want to know. Like,
and I'm not going to answer that question the way you want. So if you have a follow-up, go ahead, okay? Because when I quit, it wasn't because it was too hard. It was like I wanted to try something new. Top Gun had just come out, and I thought I want to fly jets, right? And so I got my pilot's license, and that was the new dream, right? It's like I want to do something new, and I actually got accepted had an accepted date into the Air Force, right? And then it was 6 months out, and I was going to have to go into San Antonio and do officer training school. And then they messed something up in the paperwork. Actually, I got it all backwards. No. That was after my first Olympics. This happened. I was getting ready to quit because I was going to be Tom Cruise, right? And so this happened. Then they messed up the dates. They moved. They said, no, it's not going to be till next year because we just messed up. And in the interim, I realized, forget this. I like being a pilot, but I'm too independent to be I'll probably be in the brig all the time if I'm in the military. I'm too independent. So I don't like people telling me what to do. And so I went back into the Luge and I did Albertville. But I quit after Albertville. I'll tell you why we quit. It's crazy, but we did not feel welcome in Albertville. They treated us awful. We were not welcome. Even in the Olympic Village, we would ask for something like, hey, can I get some more shampoo? Can I get some more soap or something for my room? And their standard answer was, I am sorry for you. We cannot do this. I mean, always. I must have heard that 20 times. And bad customer service, a bunch of us quit. In fact, our race, the Olympics are 2 weeks long. We raced the first 2 days of the Olympics, and then the rest of the time is watching everybody else go. And when we finished, Pablo and I, we took a 30-hour train ride to southern Spain. We hung out in Spain for a week, and we came back for the closing ceremonies, and we both quit because of bad customer service. Now, can you believe that? So if an Olympian, right, will quit because of bad customer service, imagine how important it is in our businesses, right? And I had met my wife too, right? And I had a brand new dream, so I just put the sled in the closet, and I just started chasing my wife for 6 years and got married, and then I started training again for the next one. So I really didn't, it wasn't the situation that like I quit because I was down. I was just quit because I was mad.
So my follow-up quick question would be, is if you had to do it all over again, would you do it exactly the way that you did it?
Yeah, I would. And because it's funny, I took a 7-year break. I did Salt Lake City. I took another 7-year break, and I get bored easy. I'm so ADD that I get bored easy. I want to try some different things, right? I did Vancouver, another 7-year break. And then I went and raced, and now they're telling me that maybe they got another one in me. And one of the coaches said, one reason that you're able to continue racing at your age is because you're like a car that's been in the garage for so long, right? It doesn't have very many miles. Your body is not broken down like everybody else at your age. And so you can keep going. And all those books that you're reading, or you actually get stronger mentally every few years. You're constantly getting stronger, where everybody else is, they never read a book. So they're it's my brain against their body, and my brain's starting to win now.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that. Okay, so before we go, I have a couple more questions. People want to ask questions. Before we do that, I just want to remind everybody that I'm putting a link in the chat right now. That is to this video that's live inside of our Facebook group, the Women Action Takers Facebook group. So make sure that you go put all of your contact information in that video as well. Okay. So with that, I want to officially wrap up the meeting, and now we're moving to the after party. So awesome. Thank you so much. So Margie, you got your questions answered?
Thank you. Yeah.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So next up we have Sandra. Question from Sandra. It has to be in English, Sandra.
Thank you, Ruben, for sharing. It's been amazing to listen to you and your amazing life experience. First of all, I want to just comment on how you are a true living proof of how our mind is the one that is the powerful one, and our body will do anything that our mind sets it up to do, and you've proven that. So talking about the mind and being so strong and so confident, so ready for success, I was wondering what goes through your mind when you are on the boom, because I've seen the videos and it's like, oh my God, it's so scary. So what goes on inside your mind when you are ready to go into the tunnel, and then when you're on it? I mean, let us know.
Okay. I hated it. I was scared to death. Okay. For a year, for forever. I white knuckled it, right? That's, my knuckles were white because I was holding onto the handle so hard. And when I started training for the last one, which was Vancouver 2010, one of my coaches, he asked me, Ruben, I can't believe you're still scared after all these years. I mean, you've been sliding for almost 30 years now. You're still scared. What's going on in your head? Okay. And I said, man, Jonathan, as I see those walls going faster and faster, I get tighter and tighter, and I'm surprised I can even steer the bottom half of the track, right? It's because I'm petrified. And he said, luge is not even about speed. Okay. And I said, what? He goes, no, it's not. You could be clocked at the fastest speed, but if you crash at the finish curve, you still lost the race. Luge is about who has the best time. In fact, it's the only Olympic sport that's timed to the 1/1000th of a second. Okay. So that's how important time is. And so you need to put on blinders like a horse, right? And next time you slide, don't look at the walls. Focus on a spot 30 feet in front of you, and your mindset needs to be, what do I need to do in the next section of this curve to ensure that I'm going to have the best time? Okay, so you're going to be sliding the whole track 30 feet at a time. And your mindset is, what do I need to do on every section of the curve? And if you do that, if you change your focus, your experience will change. And I trust him, okay, because he has fruit on the trees. He was fourth in the Lillehammer Olympics and doubles. He understands. He's one of the few coaches that understands the mind, right? And so he can get in my head. And so I said, okay, fine. So that night I did about 100 visualized runs, right? Where you're just taking the run in your mind, visualizing exactly what you're going to be doing. And we call them mind runs. And I did about 100 mind runs like that, like a horse, right? The next day I took a run and the fear disappeared. Right? It didn't reduce, it disappeared, okay? Changing the focus changed the experience. And so what are people focusing on today? The economy, COVID, right? Don't focus on that. Focus on, what do I need to do next 15 minutes, okay, to move my business forward? Who do I need to call? Maybe it's not a sales call. Maybe it's just a build a relationship or strengthen the relationship call, right? I like the accountability questions. How are things going? How can I support you? Hey, you could be accountability partner to all your clients, right? They're going to love you. And at the end, you're not trying to sell them something. You just leave it open-ended. And when they need something, believe me, who are they going to think of, right? And so I did that, and it changed everything. It changed everything and allowed me to relax more. And when you're more relaxed on the sled, you just go faster and you have better reaction time because you're thinking about the right thing, right? I have a friend that's a race car driver, and when you are a race car driver racing rally, rally is like in the roads, like in the dirt roads. You're doing, maybe a 3-day race on dirt roads. He says, if you're making a turn and you're losing control and the car's going to go off the road, right? And there's telephone poles, right? Because it's just a road, it's not a track. They teach us, don't look at the pole. Look at the space between the poles, because wherever you look, that's where you're going to go, right? So what are you going to think of? You're going to think about what successful people think and talk about what they want. Unsuccessful people think and talk about what they don't want. So remember that.
Thank you. Thank you. I just wanted to say that with that story, quite a few years ago, I had an accident. I was driving and the car left the road. It was a dirt road. And I actually saw the tree and went against the tree.
To the tree. Huh. See, you could be a race car driver. Yeah. Amazing. I never had anybody actually this happen to them. That's great.
Now you can use her as your example.
Yeah, that's right. I know this lady in Peru.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. So our next question comes from Heidi. Heidi, ho, ho, ho.
I gotta change that. That's a little just.
What? Oh, okay. I won't say it anymore.
Yeah, it's interesting that you're talking about taking on the pieces of your dream and looking at it, just like Jack Canfield says, Ruben, he says, your headlights are going across the country. He does that visually. And he says, you're driving across the country and it's dark. All you can see is what's in front of your headlights. So that's as far as you're going at that time. Because this morning I woke up and I was a little panicked because I'd been creating this dream. And back before I started making it a huge dream, I was thinking how great it was that it enclosed some ideas. But I woke up this morning thinking, I don't want to die regretting that I never acted on stage, that I never wrote plays, that I never, and then I remembered as you're speaking today that Heidi, you silly nut, that's in that dream. That is included. That's part of it. So it's really amazing that you re-included that in this for me. And I want to thank you for that, Ruben. And did he let
and did I included what? I lost you.
that you sorry. Yeah, I'm a little ADD too, so my mind's going all crazy.
Okay.
Um,
And by the way, thank God. Okay, I thank God that I'm ADD. Okay, because it's good. Entrepreneurs, the top entrepreneurs are ADD. They're handling many different things, and they can hyper focus. Right? We have an extra gear. If there's something that's important to us, we will super focus. Right? And that's another superpower. Right? So yeah, that's good. I'm on stage, and I might be speaking for Gulfstream. Right? I mean, earlier this year, I spoke for the guys that build Gulfstream planes. They were having their annual sales meeting. It was like 150 salespeople from all over the world, and they brought me in. And I tell the guy on the front row, I tell him, look, I'm not gonna go on a tangent, okay? I'm gonna go on tangents off my tangent. So your job is to pay attention, because if I get lost, I'm serious, okay? You're gonna get me back. All right, now it's out in the open, everybody knows, and it's cool. Right? If I try to be perfect up there, I'm just gonna crash and burn.
I wrote to my coach today and I said, do I give it all up because I just want to be on stage and I want to write? And he didn't have to even reply to me. You did.
Okay, there you go.
You see, you said it somewhere that you include your dream. It doesn't have to be that you see your dream, you keep your eye on the prize. And for me, the prize is a lightness and joy expanded empire where people are getting it, that laughing at themselves is a huge power that they can have. And it cuts off anybody else's power over them. Like you were saying, laughing at you. If you're laughing at yourself already for how ridiculous you are and what a perfectionist and how silly that is, and you're recognizing that it's all funny, if you laugh at yourself first, no one has power to hurt you by laughing.
Yeah, it's true. Are you the Stop Self-Bullying lady?
No, I'm the laugh lightness coach.
Oh, okay, because it's kind of interrelated. So let me tell you guys my Jack Canfield story real quick, because it's interesting. When I wrote the first book, when I was writing the first book, my mentor, Jim, he said, go to Barnes and Nobles, go to the business section and self-help, and look at how books are put together, okay? I know you read them, but now look at how it's put together. See how you have testimonials in the front and the back cover, and those are huge, okay? You need to get yourself some testimonials. So I did. So I went back to my bookcase. I made a list of 100 top testimonials, my dream list. Who are the top 100, I had them all. And I just started calling them. I went to every single website and I called them. And you never get the guy on the phone. It's always the secretary, right? Or the assistant, right? And so after a few, I just changed my pitch to the secretary. And so I did. And when I called Chicken Soup for the Soul, the lady, she said, oh, Jack's here, hang on. And she handed him the phone. She probably doesn't work for him anymore. But he gets on the phone and real serious like, he says, you got 5 minutes. And we talked for an hour and a half. We became friends over the phone, right? And it wasn't my intention. I was just being me. And he said, I'm writing this book, the Success Principles, and I would love to put you in my book. Would that be okay? And I'm thinking, would that be okay? I'm trying to get his testimonial and I'm going to be in his book. Yeah, I think it'll be okay. So he put me in 3 different chapters, okay? And almost every year I get a gig or 2 from somebody that read about me in his book, okay? So people say, well, that's lucky. I was, yeah, but I had to call 100 people to get that one, right? And out of the 100, I probably got 20 incredible testimonials, right? So somebody might say, well, you had an 80% rejection rate. I goes, yeah, but look at the 20% that I got, right? I mean, that helped me build my business. So you have to be willing to do those things. Put yourself out there, do what the competition's not willing to do. And he even has me, I don't know if he still has me, but for years, I know that hey, I'm part of his PowerPoint. Okay. I mean, the first year I was on food stamps, and it's coming about this time of year, Christmas, and I'm speaking free all over the place, right? Because that's one of the things my mentor said, just speak everywhere and have something to sell. And so I had it on a CD, and by then I had the book. And so I had that. And I'm speaking at this place and for free. And then outside, there's all these tables with people that are selling stuff for Christmas. And there was this lady that had these huge gift baskets. I mean, they were Texas size, okay? I could almost sleep in one of these things. And they were expensive. And I looked at it and I thought, man, can I have your card? I mean, I can't afford it right now, but I'd love to get one of these for my wife, sometime in the future. And she gives me her card, and it was Mary Lou Holtz. And I laughed. I said, how funny. Lou Holtz is my favorite speaker. And she says, oh, he's my dad. I said, what? Lou Holtz, famous coach from Notre Dame, right? Football coach. And I says, here's my book. Here's my CD. Please have him listen to it. I would love to get his testimonial, right? Well, long story short, he's written the forewords to my books now. And one year, I'm speaking for this group. It was a huge accounting company, over 1,000 people in the audience. And when I arrived, I'm talking to the meeting planner, and I'm asking, how'd you guys even hear about me? And they said, oh, we had Lou Holtz last year, and he told us that we needed to book you. I thought, oh my gosh, he's even promoting me now. But that's because I made the step, right? What's the worst going to happen? She could have just taken my stuff and thrown it away, not even showing it to her dad. But at least there's an opportunity, go for it, right? Otherwise you have regret. Otherwise you're 80 years old, and there's studies that they've done of 80-year-old people, and their number 2 regrets, not spending enough time with your family and playing life too safe, right? Not going for it, not taking enough risks. And so, I'll take the risk because I don't want the regret.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
That's so good. I'll take the risk because I don't want the regret. I love
that's
that.
a keeper, isn't it? I should write that down.
That's a writer downer for sure. I love how you said it wasn't my intention. I was just being me. You were referring to the Jack Canfield story, and that's so true. Because when we step into who we really are, and one of the ladies here was talking about being happy with who you are like now, or some that kind of thing, and it's so true. If you step into who you are and just be that person, like how did I get Ruben to speak here? There's a conversation that we had that led up to it. And then I just invited him and he said, yes, so this is how these things happen. And it's not because like I'm extra special or anything. I just asked him.
Yeah.
I just asked him.
Yeah. You got an ASK to GET. I mean, you do. and most people don't ask. And so,
and Ruben, what's your thought on this? Because there's a saying that, Greg Reed, my mentor, he says, the most successful people are the most available people. So what's your experience with that yourself?
Yeah, for sure. And I'll tell you a Greg Reed story that fits into that. He's done a lot of stuff with the Napoleon Hill Foundation, and a lot of his books have been written in conjunction with them. And Napoleon Hill Foundation, by the way, is the Napoleon Hill wrote Think and Grow Rich, and the foundation makes sure that nobody's misusing his stuff. That's in a nutshell. So a few years ago, Greg emailed me and he said, hey, Napoleon Hill Foundation is looking for somebody to record the Spanish audio version of Think and Grow Rich. Would you like to do it? And I said, sure. I didn't even ask how much, okay? It wasn't going to be hardly anything, but it was just an honor, right? And that's something to brag about. I said, sure. He goes, how funny. The last guy that I asked, he was all about how much am I going to make about it? And you just want to do it for free, or you're willing to do it for free. I said, yeah, because it's an opportunity. Yeah. So I was available, right? And it's funny, Greg's a busy guy, right? It's funny, the way we met, I spoke in Dallas one time years ago. And the lady that booked me knew Greg, and she hooked us up. She said, yeah, this guy, he's got a radio show. Back then he had a radio show, and, he might want you as a guest. And so me being a guest got booked through his people. It wasn't, so the first time we talked to each other was when we were doing the radio show, but we were finishing each other's sentences, right? We became friends through the radio show, and then that's, the rest is history, right? So it's funny.
That's awesome. I love that. I love that. This is so fun. Okay, wait, next, now we're going to go to, well, how much time do you have, Ruben? I just want to make sure.
All day. I just have all day.
Awesome. Okay, ladies. So we're in for the duration. We're in here for a marathon on the luge. Okay. So next up is Sherry. Are you still here, Sherry? Let's, oh yeah, she's still. Yes. Awesome. Awesome. Okay.
Oh my
You're
God,
up.
it's been so amazing. I'm just,
Hey,
this is
Sherry.
my wheelhouse. I love.
Sherry,
Yes.
can I say one more thing before your question? Oh, I love your energy. My gosh. Back to Jack Canfield. So when we got to talking, you guys know Jack Canfield stuff, I'm sure, because he's so popular out there. He is a big believer in self-esteem, right? It's like he's Mr. Self-Esteem. And so when we were chatting on the phone that time, he says, you must have an incredible self-esteem to do what you did. And my answer, he didn't like my answer because it went all against what he teaches. Okay. Well, now what he teaches is right on, but there's exceptions. I told him, look, when I came to the States, the intention was to go back. Okay. We were just leaving Argentina till things got better over there, right? We're just getting out of that. People were disappearing. There was terrorism. It was a mess. And so our home was like a little corner of Argentina. We spoke Spanish. We ate Spanish food. We listened to, it was Argentina. And so I never assimilated, right? I never Americanized. And so, gosh, it wasn't till high school, almost 10 years later, or more than 10 years later, then we finally realized writing was on the wall. We're here to stay, okay? But by then, I was always the oddball, the misfit, because culturally I didn't fit, right? It wasn't a racism thing. It was a cultural thing. And so I got picked on a lot, and especially in elementary and in middle school, I got picked on big time. And I always thought there's something wrong with me because, because of what was happening, right? And so my self-esteem was zilch. And I guess even though I'm not a short person, I have a Napoleonic complex because of that, because I had to do something like the Olympics to prove to myself that I was okay. And my self-esteem was so low that it wasn't until after my third Olympics that I started feeling okay in my skin. I mean, isn't that crazy? And so he didn't like that answer, but that's, hey, I'm not going to tell you what you like. I'm going to tell you my story, and that's how it is. So whatever your self-esteem is, don't use it as an excuse, because like me, you could use it to do some pretty cool things, right? Don't use anything as an excuse.
Gosh, I love that story. And that's actually, action follows thought. And that's why I am so passionate about the self-bullying, and that we need to teach, especially our young. And I think it's imperative that we start in the preschool age, and that we start with parents, because that's what's bringing up the next generation of people. We're having, and actually my person I typically work with are all the people that are the walking wounded who are doing that, who are like, I'm hearing some of them even in this panel, who are trying to fix the years of the being screwed up in your head and thinking you're not enough, or I'm not as good as them, or I'm looking all in all the wrong places, focusing and what you were talking about. And like, I thought of that when you were talking about the headlights and the dark and stuff, because in my book, I actually talk about the Power of Me Expressway. And, there's a reason the windshield in your car is huge and the rear view mirror is small, because if you're constantly looking back, you're not going that way, right?
Yeah.
That's not the way you're supposed to be going.
Yeah.
That's actually a tool to make sure, just a reference tool, right? And the front, you're face forward. And I talk about the lines on the road. There's reason there's lines on the road, and why you face forward, right? And if you start looking at what somebody else is doing, like I can look up here and go, oh, Sandra's more successful than me, and then Heidi's doing this, or Linda's doing that. That's me looking over here. I call those ditch drivers. Like, that's exactly where I'm going to be.
What do you call them?
Ditch drivers.
Ditch drivers.
Because like, they're going to drive me right in the ditch because I'm looking there. I'm supposed to be going here. And that goes with your focus, right? Like, so what you focus on is exactly what where you will go. So, if you're looking over there, there you go. And, and if you are managing a team and you have people following you, they're following you right in the ditch. So if you're trying to grow big, and you're headed there. You're taking them all with you. So, you know,
Yeah. Typically,
the whole concept of, I love your points about focus, but my actual question for you was, I just was in the international bestseller with Linda and for entrepreneurial success, the One Habit book. And actually my habit was actually spending 30 to 60 minutes a day on that personal development reading, because what you do in that, I think, writes your paycheck. What you learn daily writes your paycheck. And in that vein, what is it that you like, your top couple books that just right off the top, that I know you have a whole bookshelf, so I do floor to ceiling, me too. But like, what are a couple that kind of like spark joy for you in terms of like, wow, this really impacted me? Because I think we all read a lot, but we're all attracted to different things. So I just wondered what speaks to you, Ruben.
As far as biographies, my favorite biographies are the ones of people that had to overcome great odds to make it, right? Because they take my excuses away, right? Yeah. Mother Teresa, Helen Keller, even, you know, people like Patton, believe it or not, Patton, you know, nobody could believe that no one had ever moved armies as fast as he had. And so he had all these naysayers and he had to, you know, show them, right? And Ford, same thing. Henry Ford, you know, when he was trying to develop it was going to be a single block engine for a car, right? And all his engineers said, impossible, it can't be done, blah, blah. And he would just say, okay, well, fine. Then that means I want it done in 6 months, right? Impossible. So those, I love those because they give me hope, right? Whenever I have a bad day, and you know, I'm a positive guy, but well, once in a while when I get a bad day, it's funny, I'll see somebody in a wheelchair. It's like, thank you, God, I got it, got the message, thanks, right? And it kind of fuels me. Let me look here. Anything by Coach Wooden, John Wooden. He was a very famous basketball coach, but he teaches about life, right? And so John Wooden, great. Anything by Brian Tracy.
Oh, I love him so much. Yeah.
And it's funny. I've got probably have all his books. And it's funny. It's you read one, you read them all, right? Because it's the same thing in different orders. But I keep buying them. I can't stop. So yeah. So that means, you know, I learned.
We learn by repetition, though. So it's
yeah,
okay.
I can do the same thing though. I can move things around a bit too. The old
what
man.
was the basketball coach one that you mentioned before, Brian?
John Wooden. He was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's coach in college. In fact, there's a really good book by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar that he just talks about his relationship with John Wooden and how he helped him. That's such a good book. But here's what he looks like, John. Oh, and by the way, I picked up this one. I have a bunch, but anything by Pat Williams. Okay, this one is by Pat Williams. Okay, Pat Williams is the general manager of the Orlando Magic. He was the guy that brought the Orlando Magic to Orlando about 30 years ago. But he's written a ton of books. And he writes biographies. My favorite biographies are the ones he writes, because he, at the end of every chapter, he pulls out all the lessons, right? So you don't have to figure them out on your own. So this one is called How to Be Like Coach Wooden, right? He's got a whole series of how to be like Walt Disney, right? And so I like that, you know, simple.
I love that, because these are not ones that are on my shelf. So I'm so glad that I asked that, because like, that's just the thing, you know, what speaks to one person doesn't always like be the thing that comes up right in the consciousness. But I love it because you can put it on your list of, you know, learning the way, because everybody learns differently, right?
Here's an interesting one that I like. It's called 5 Voices. Okay, it's like DISC, right? You know, it's just another way of doing the personalities, but this one's got an extra one. And it turns out when I did all the testing, that extra one, that was me. That's why I'm such an oddball, right? I don't even fit in the DISC profile. Well, the 5th one is creative, right? And I'm kind of a creative and pioneer. Get out there and do it, right? And, you know, lead the pack. But creative, do it my own way, do it a different way. So 5 Voices is very good. Leave the Field. I just read this. I never even heard of this book before. This is by Earl Nightingale. Okay, Earl Nightingale was probably one of the fathers of personal development. Back in the 60s, he had a very, very famous radio show And if you go, just go to Google. Go to YouTube and Google or look up Earl Nightingale, Lead the Field. You can actually listen to it for free. And he's got another famous one that's The Greatest Secret. It's a 30-minute video, audio, his most famous talk, The Greatest Secret.
I don't see the Year of Fears there on your shelf. We'll have to.
Is that the one you wrote?
Yeah, we'll have to take care of that. I'll send one to you.
Yes. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The Dip. This is really good too, by Seth Godin. Okay. Seth Godin is mainly a marketing guy, but The Dip tells you, hey, there's a time to quit. Okay. Sometimes, like I quit soccer because I was either going to have to dedicate time to soccer or to luge, and soccer wasn't taking me anywhere. Right. And so that was like Seth Godin calls those cul-de-sacs, right? Like a dead end. Right. If you're not getting the results and it doesn't look good at all, and that might be a cul-de-sac. Okay. Talk to the mentor, see what they say. So good thing I quit soccer, because luge took me a lot farther. The Go-Getter is good. Oh, let's forget that one. Believe it or not, I just reread this. The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway. That's about a guy that had a great old guy that had a great positive and he refused to quit. Great positive. Let me see. Give me a second, because I got some of my favorites ones just up here on this front row. There's one by Andy Andrews where he has a dream and he goes back in time, and he actually talks to these historical figures and they give him tips, right? It's a guy's about to commit suicide and he has this dream and he goes back in time. It's really good, by Andy Andrews. I forget the name of it, but that's an excellent book. And if you Google Andy Andrews, The Butterfly Effect, this is probably the best storyteller speaker in the world. He's amazing. And just watch it. You're gonna love it. You fall in love with the guy right there.
I love it.
We could do a whole section on books.
I was gonna say.
I'm telling you.
I would love to send you mine.
Yeah, please. I'll
Before I get off of here, because I have little ones and I have to go start tending to them, I just want to say, for being my first time coming into this group, I want to thank you so much. I'm so excited that my B6 family extended this invitation for me to come on. I just want to say to you, Ruben, and sorry if I even get emotional even saying it, like, this has been one of the most motivational moments that I've had in a very long time. I just finished completing for the very first time as well an emotional training. Being a woman who has had so many adversities and obstacles, between also being a survivor of domestic violence, as well as my 3 years in recovery, that was in November. And also being at home with the COVID-19 just as well too. And so this has been one heck of a year. I've lost, many family members, my brothers and stuff, also to the COVID. And so, of course, now that I have tested positive, I have been just, staying faithful, and I've been keeping myself motivated. I've been filling my mind with influential things, and I'm listening to you, and I'm just like, this is it, guys. Like, listening to every one of you guys. Sherry, when you started talking about the road map and the reason why your window shields and stuff at the back, this is something that I have put together just as well. And if you see on there, I have put me as the driver. The windshield is my vision, and my engine is my desire. And so
I think we wrote
on the road,
you two are sisters from another mother, I tell you. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and so it's just like, and and I named it Destination Execution. And it's like, after listening to you, Ruben, and everything that you said, I'm like, God forbid if this was like my time. And God forbid that God said, with this COVID-19, life well done, this is it. Would I be satisfied with what it is that I have to leave behind? Being a single mom, of 4 children, with my little one 3 years old, I'm like, the time has to be now. If it's meant to be, it's up to me.
Cool.
I can't continue to allow, people to dictate or leave that much of my power in the arms or hands of other individuals. my vision is not for everybody to see it, because God gifted each and every one of us the vision of ourselves for a reason. Not everybody is going to agree. Not everybody is going to support, but it's what the gift is inside of you and what we are willing to do to execute it. So Ruben, I just had to make sure that I told you, thank you so much. I'm so proud of you.
You made my day. You made my day, Latoya.
You put a
baby.
spark under me.
I'm serious.
It's like
you know
all
what?
or nothing.
And I was on a call with a bunch of guys yesterday. Okay, I'll tell you, I like the call with the women a lot better. You guys are so much more fun. Yeah, because guys try to be cool and they don't show any emotion. They make lousy audiences. When you have an audience of all women, piece of cake. We're gonna have a blast. But anyways, one of the questions they asked was, what's one thing, really bad thing that happened to you and that kind of molded the person that you are, and would you change it if you could, right? And it was getting bullied and all that stuff that I talked about earlier, but that made me who I am. So even though it was really tough and hard, and I don't want to go through it again, but I'm glad I did, right? And so all these bad things that happened to you, they created that character and that strength in you. And when you started talking, it was like, man, it was like Oprah going, I tell you, I mean, I'm serious, okay?
You know,
It
you're
was
the
that
fourth
same-
person in just today who have called me Oprah and was like, you don't understand when you open your mouth. And meanwhile, like I said, if you guys, if we had all the time in the world to even share a little bit of my story, you guys would be so blown away. You know, I'm the youngest of 16, just to give you a little bit, and I'm the first to graduate high school out of my 16 siblings, the first to go on and pursue a college education. I am the first to break through, you know, with drug addiction, you know, and that's why transforming other women to understand, like, look, right now you are broken, but you can be mended. And just like a crayon that is broken, you still have the ability to color. Your life does not continue to just go on in the same direction until you change that chapter and change those pages and rewrite the story.
Yep. So that's your power, okay?
Yes.
The experiences, just like I said, my favorite biographies are the ones that take my excuses away. Your story takes people's excuses away, okay?
Yeah.
So that's your superpower. And I know you're not shy about talking about it. So so you are a force, girl, to be reckoned with. You're gonna make a huge difference, okay? And anybody says differently, the problem is they don't believe as much as you do. You just disassociate from that person and focus. I remember when I was first starting to speak, I never took any lessons, right? So I was just just did it. And I remember in the early days, if there was somebody down there that was sleepy or wasn't paying attention or whatever, I thought it was my mission in life to talk to that person, right? And I wouldn't talk to the ones that were actually engaging with me or connecting with me. And then one time I was taking I read somewhere that as a speaker, it made sense to learn how to build your own website, so you're not hostage to your webmaster, right? You can make changes immediately. So I went to this class to learn how to do this stuff, and for me, it was so boring. Okay, I was just falling asleep. It was a boring subject, and then on top of that, the night before, one of my baby girl had kept me up all night, so I was falling asleep. And I'm sitting in there, and the instructor was actually really funny and good, right? But I wasn't excited about the subject, and I was half asleep. And then when I was going through this, I thought, oh my gosh, he probably thinks that I don't like what he's saying, right? That I think he's a bad speaker. But the problem is I didn't get any sleep. So next time I get one of those in my audience that's falling asleep, don't let him go to sleep, okay? He needs sleep and they need me. So I'm gonna focus on the ones that are that are connecting, right? So don't focus on that one, focus on the good one.
I love that. Thank you. And thanks so much, Latoya. I'm glad you shared that. And who you said, well, who invited you? It was Heidi. Yeah. Thank you for accepting her invitation. Yes. Yeah. Yes. You know, it is, we're where we need to be when we need to be there. And, you know, if we resist that, because sometimes we know we need to be somewhere, but we don't show up. Yeah. Absolutely. And that's the worst, because we really need to be there. And so that's when we need to show up. So thank you so much. And great question, Sherry. Who knew we were going to get a whole list? I thought he was going to share one book, but no. Amazing.
Definitely
amazing.
Gonna wrote them down too. Definitely gonna look them all up too.
That question comes up a lot, you know. I just need to have them up on my desk, you know, at least 10 of my favorite ones, because it's going to come up.
We'll get the year of fears in there. We'll get that. So next, because we had another question, let's see, from Michelle, and she hopped off, but still, I wanted to ask her a question. Her question was related to when you're getting older. Where'd it go? Lots of great stuff going on in here. For those who are a little older, what advice would you give them when they wonder if they waited too late?
Go for it. I mean, just go for it, you know, and don't dwell on that stuff. That's regrets. That's stuff you can't do anything about, you know. And when you're, this is different, but worry, by the way, worry is just negative visualization. You're just visualizing the worst case scenario, right? Hardly ever happens. So don't do that, right? Visualize what you want to happen and prepare for if that bad happened. So, you know what? I get this a lot at Q&As, whether it's live or virtual. People will say, well, what if you don't know what your dream is? Okay. Which is kind of related to you putting off your dream and now you think it's too late. What if you don't even know what your dream is? And I always tell them, well, what was your dream when you were 10 or 12 years old? Okay. Because that at least will point you to an industry, right? Well, I wanted to be a professional basketball player, but I'm 60 now. Okay. Well, you're probably not going to be a professional basketball player, right? But let's think basketball. Maybe you can coach, you know, your church team, right? Or maybe you can sell basketballs, or you can start a basketball blog, or you can work for a basketball. You can be an employee of a basketball professional team. And now you're in an environment that's got your passion in it, right? And so, hey, wouldn't that be better than what you got right now, where you're drifting because you got no dream? And their eyes open up a lot because until they start thinking, you know, how can I connect to basketball? You can write a basketball blog. I don't know. Interview basketball players, right, on a blog, and become Mr. I mean, you are the guy that is known for bringing all the best basketball players. You're the voice of basketball because you give them a voice. How cool would that be? And now you're getting to become friends with all your heroes. So you can do that at any age.
That's a good point there, because maybe because of your age, you may have missed that particular dream. You know, at 60 years old, you're very unlikely to be picked for a basketball team, you know, professional basketball team. It could happen, but you know, it's less likely to happen, right? So then just shift the focus so that you don't let that dream die, and it just shows up in a different way. And you might find that in that example, you might find that the thing that you move into is just as rewarding, just as exciting as it would have been to be that pro basketball player. Yeah,
you'll discover things that you didn't even think about before, you know. And teenagers, you know, they're really good about having their dreams, right? They got it. Pictures and posters all over the wall of their room of what they want to do. I mean, guys, you go to any guy's room, it's usually pictures of girls and cars, right? And so, right. But then as they grow up, they just start pulling that you know, that Ferrari off of the wall, right? That poster says, that's not. I think the Corolla, you know, better gas mileage. Who needs a Ferrari anyway? Well, I just need someone to give me. And every time they pull one of those off the wall, it's like they're stabbing their heart a little bit, right? And it's killing them inside. No, start thinking about what you had on the wall when you were a kid, and start putting some of those up there, and start thinking about, you know, do a little brainstorm. How can I get a little bit more of this in my life? And
mine was Leif Gerritsen and Sean Cassidy and Scott Baio. That was who was on my
really. I just got The Outsiders, the movie. I've never seen it before, but all those guys were, you know, a lot of those guys were in it. The Outsiders. So we're gonna watch that this week with the kids.
Maybe I'll have to go watch that again. So anyway, that's a backwards dreaming.
So yeah, it's never too old to chase your dream one way or the other. I mean, that's how I would answer that.
And you know, I didn't even jump into entrepreneurship till I was 51, and I had no idea what I was doing, what I was going to do, how I was going to make any money. But I knew what I didn't want to do anymore. Kind of like what you were sharing a little bit earlier, is like I knew what I didn't want to do anymore. And so I was like, how can I do something different? And just jumped out of it and tried to figure it out.
You do so many things well. When you were opening up this meeting, talking about different things, just that type Q when you have a question. That's so simple. I mean, that's awesome. Nobody does that. And how you were talking about the accountability partners and running your Zoom masterminds. I mean, it's you are doing a lot of things really, really well. And I'm sure you're a good learner, right? You learn from Greg, and he's a good, boy, does he know what he's doing. With Greg, when he's the most action person I know. Years ago, The Secret had just come out, and he had like a mastermind group for the weekend. It might have been one of the original. It might have been one of the original secret knocks just in his house, right? And it was going to be over the weekend. And and David Corbin spoke, and John Asraf, and me, and just a bunch of the guys. And at one point he said, "Okay, now we're going to watch The Secret, and afterwards we're going to pull out all these." Asraf had just spoken. We're going to pull out all these magazines, and we're going to make some dream boards, right? And so we started the movie, and neither Greg or I had seen the movie. And we watched about 20 minutes, and when it got to that point where that bicycle, the kid gets the bicycle just because he thinks he's going to get a bicycle. I looked at Greg and said, I never got a bicycle like that. And he said, yeah, this is BS, man. You got to take action, not just dream about stuff. And so we just left, and we just started talking, we're going to make our own movie, okay? We're going to make a movie about action. And I'm just spewing. I had no intention of doing anything. I went back home 2 weeks later. Greg's got a studio. He got all this thing put together, and that was Pass It On, We just started calling people and getting Pass It On done. And that led to the one he did with what's his name?
Frank Shankwitz.
Yes, Shankwitz, right? So you never know. He's a filmmaker because he didn't, one day he's watching The Secret, didn't like it.
Right. That's so true. Yeah, because like we was referring to Frank Shankwitz, who is the creator, co-founder of the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and Greg, it put into action, the movie. Oh my gosh, how could I forget the name of it? Wishman. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm one of the executive producers. How could I forget the name of it? But yeah, the Wishman movie, it's really an incredible story. And so, like you said, Greg, you guys, like stupid movie, we're gonna walk away, and then Greg starts creating a movie.
Yeah. And the Hollywood model is you get a group of people, there might be the director, the producer, there's the actors, there's the music people, the editing people, it's a team that comes together for a project, right? They make a movie and then they disband, and they may never see each other again. And so we can all do that. We can all use that same model, connecting with people in this group. It's like, hey, let's work on this project, and boom, and you pick up different people from this group that you have, this great mastermind, and you make something happen, and you pull away, right? And so much, I think it's so much better than the corporate model where everybody's stuck and they don't like each other.
Been there, done that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's move on to our next question. Veronica. Let's see, she's still here. Awesome. Veronica.
Yes, I've been hanging in there waiting.
I know.
I've been banned to my off cabin because my husband's watching TV. He's in my office.
She lives on a boat.
I live on a boat.
Cool. Where?
Where? In Seabrook.
Seabrook, Texas?
Yes, sir.
That's off of NASA, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yes, I live on a boat.
So what do you do when a hurricane's coming? You just go somewhere else?
No, we're undercover. So and the whole platform moves, the whole dock moves. So
you're safe.
It compensates for the. So the it's not really the wind that causes the damage. It's actual swell of the water because the water is so strong it sweeps everything away. And so during Ike, they didn't lose a boat, but the boats that were on the hard were all over the place. In fact, the water was so strong, it took this house from one side of the street to the other side of the street.
Wow.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I can tell you were born in East Texas, right? I can tell from your accent.
No, my daughter-in-law says I talk funny because I'm from Seabrook. So I'm originally from Namibia, and so we moved around and like you did, and ended up in America.
Cool.
And I was so excited because I thought, oh my Lord, there are 350 million people to sell stuff to. This is awesome country, right?
So where are you from?
From Namibia, Africa.
Namibia. Oh, I thought I was going to say South Africa. So it's pretty close.
No, well, we all talk the same down there, but I'm a Namibian. There's too many South Africans around. I have to stand out.
I got a good friend from there, so that's why
yeah.
I could pick it up. Cool. So ask away.
So okay. So where did you end up when you did the last luge? You were 55. So where did you end up?
Where did I end up?
In the Olympics. Yes.
Oh, I was always in the bottom. I was probably in the bottom. No, not probably. Bottom quarter of the ones. The first Olympics was top 50 got to go.
Yeah.
And Albertville was the top 50. Then Salt Lake City, they had it down to the top 40 because they want to keep the Winter Olympics at 3,000 athletes in the summer at 10,000 athletes. But they keep adding sports. The Winter Olympics is turning into the X Games. And so if you have more sports, it's less people per sport. And so now the next one is going to be top 35 men get to go. So it keeps getting, but I'm getting better. So the coaches said that you got a shot. So I'm getting better. I mean, even if I right now with my capacity now could compete in my first one, I'd still probably be in the bottom half of the group. But I'd be sliding better.
There.
Yeah. Oh heck yeah!
So
I get to play with the big boys.
So exactly, you get to go. So would you do it again?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it depends. You got to have a lot of money. Okay, there's no sponsors in the luge. All right, so I got to pay everything. Every time you do a luge run, it's $40, and you do about 6 a day, plus hotel, plus meals. But now with virtual, hey, I could actually this could be good. I could be working and sliding at the same time. But now I got a kid in college and another one on the way. Right. And so expenses of, running the house has gone up. Right. And so I'm constantly looking for new ways to build a business so that I can do it. It's an expensive hobby. It's not, I could win first place. It's not going to make me a dime. Okay. This is
yeah.
So yeah, we'll do it again. I felt when I was going for Vancouver, it was funny. Let me backtrack. When I went to Salt Lake City, okay, my third one. That was 2002. I was 39. The average age in the Olympic Village is about mid-20s, okay? I was 39. I felt just like a dad going to visit his kids in college, okay? And everybody, not only did I feel old, everybody's asking me, what are you coaching? And I would tell them, I'm an athlete. Now, come on, you're an athlete, come on. All right, so it's like, okay, I guess this is my last one. And then in Vancouver, I was 47. Everybody thought I was coach's dad. Okay. so and it's funny when I actually made it, all the coaches and all the track workers, they were rooting for me, right? They said, come on, do it for the old guys. But so I would do it again. And when I was going for Vancouver, I felt I did Salt Lake City, and then I started speaking. And for the next 6 years, my mission was build this big speaking business, right? So that challenge, I love a challenge. That challenge kept me alive and happy. And then business was pretty good, and I started getting bored. And so I was looking for another challenge, and that's when I decided, hey, let's do another one. No one's ever done 4 in 4 different decades. That might be good marketing, right? It might be good for business. And it turns out it didn't help, but still. But during those 2 years when I was going for it, I felt this sense of purpose that I hadn't felt in years, right? Because I was all focused on something that meant a lot to me. So it was a sense of purpose and focus, and my life was in alignment. And so, it'd be really fun to do another one.
I had this idea. I was about in my late 49. I started doing triathlons.
Really? Wow.
And I don't like swimming, by the way. I don't like getting wet. I don't like swimming. I don't like getting wrinkly. I did triathlons in contact lenses. So, I couldn't swim with my contact lenses. So I would get out of the water and I would have to really concentrate and squint my eyes to find my bicycle and put it in a really, really good position. Yeah. But yeah, I
You
did
guys
that
are
for
amazing.
5 years. I actually forgot about it until you said that you did something at 55. So, and I wasn't a runner. I have bad knees. I've had an operation on my knees. And so I just gym like the normal people. But yeah, I started doing that. But I did my last one and I thought, what the hell are you doing here, woman? So I did something else. So something that somebody said to me, we were talking about, not asking. And I said to him, a no is still a no, right? So if you don't ask, a no can never become a yes.
That's really good.
Right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, it's a
I've
no.
mixed it up a bit.
Yeah, and you have to wrap your head around that so
Yeah.
that it becomes your belief, right? That, hey, at least I'm going to. I had somebody years ago tell me, I was in Amway back in the 90s, right? And so I learned a lot. Oh my gosh, it was great
Yes, I
personal
know.
development there.
Yes.
And one of the diamonds used to say, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person, right? Because if they're ready and they see the opportunity, as soon as you explain it, they're going to get in. Okay. So you can't say the wrong. So there's no pressure there. And you can't say the right thing to the wrong person. Okay. If they weren't going to get in, no matter what you say. So just tell everybody and let them sort themselves. I thought, hey, that makes sense. That takes the pressure off of me. I just have to talk. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. As I learned when I came to America, my friend did not have her green card. So I had to do her insurance license. When you get to do that test for a license to sell prepaid legal, which was multi-level marketing.
Yeah.
So I did the test for her so she could sell. And I probably did the best sales lesson with those guys. And then one of them is never, ever keep your mouth shut when you push that paper across. Don't come back and give people different discounts when you've given them a price. Since I'm in e-commerce, I always talk about that, right? And then the other thing was, the phone calls. So, we used to, those days, you always do the phone call, right? If you've got to pick up the phone to get a customer. But if you don't, and it's really hard to do cold calls. So what he said to us is pick up the phone, call a friend, then you're all nicely warmed up and you're friendly, and then you do your cold calls. Then they're not so bad. So yeah, those guys have got some awesome
there's
training, right?
It's awesome training. And tell you one more thing that you just reminded me of. See, and I reminded me and it went away. Oh yes. I was reading a marketing book and then just watching some videos and learning and the guy said, before you make a call, right? Or before you're going to make a presentation, where there's going to be a sale right at the end, just close your eyes and meditate or picture in your mind, how is that product, if they buy it, how is it going to change their lives? Okay. How will it really change their lives if they actually buy it and they take advantage of it and they use it? Okay. And get that feeling in your mind. Now, visualize, how is their life going to change if they don't buy it? Right. And what if your competitor sells them a lousy product that really hurts them? How's that going to change their lives? And now go out and make the call, because now you have all those feelings in you, and you know that you got something that can really change their life. And so it's gonna come across in your voice. It's gonna come across in your gestures. And sales is a transference of feeling, right? So if you're excited, then it's gonna transfer. If otherwise, it won't. So there you go.
You can't sell anything if you're not passionate about it. So I discourage people from opening an e-commerce store if they're not passionate about it, because they have to talk about it every single day.
Yeah.
And it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. And the same thing goes, oh, but I don't have to make sales calls because people just go to my website and buy. Yeah, but at some
Yeah.
point you're going to make a video, okay? And
Yes.
you better be visualizing that stuff. How's it going to help them? How's it going to hurt them if they don't buy? So that you can be good on that camera, right? So it comes
Yes.
across. Otherwise,
Yes.
everybody has this little gauge, right, in their mind. And when
Mm.
it's the BS gauge, right? And when you're talking to somebody, something you pick up these feelings that tell you this person's lying, I don't trust them, or I think I trust this person, I like this person. And boy, another reason why you got to be yourself, right? That's a lot easier.
Yeah, but even with having an online business, you still have to call a customer. There's nothing better than getting a call. I'm actually helping somebody from Africa. I'm literally shipping their stuff out because they're not here, and their warehouse is around the corner. They had to fly back to Zimbabwe, and I picked up the phone to call some customers just to see if they got the product and if it was okay. And now I'm
That's
actually
cool.
doing what I'm teaching, and I got 2 more sales.
Huh.
And these are not cheap. These are like $500, $1,000 sculptures. This is not just hey, I'll come and spend $25. And that's just from connecting with people, having a conversation with people. And I think that's what we learned this year, is to have more online conversations, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. This virtual stuff is good. I like it. Anyways, it's great chatting with you, Veronica.
I'm on a boat, and I'll be cruising next year, and I'll still be doing what I'm doing.
Oh man, I want to grow up to be like you.
That's awesome. So one last question, Ruben. So Heidi asked this question: are you 100% sure you can't get a sponsor for the Luge?
No, I'm not 100% sure. That's good. Yeah, I saw that pop up.
You're like, I'm gonna
I'll
ignore
tell you
that
what,
one.
Heidi. Tell you what, I'm gonna turn it around on you. You get me some sponsors, you keep 50%. And I'm serious, okay?
I'm serious. I was already thinking about that.
Okay, because I'll tell you the angle I was going for. I figured, hey, Geritol, AARP, Depends diapers. I mean, stuff for old people, right? I can improve I can show them that an old person can still go to the Olympics, right?
You're welcome, yeah.
But anyways, stuff for baby boomers, right? But
How about
I tried.
How about the people who are involved with organizations whose lives you've touched and you don't even know?
I don't know. Oh, you mean individuals sponsoring,
like
not companies sponsoring me?
Like vice president of some huge conglomerate that was at one of your talks, and you made a huge difference in his life, and you know he never said anything. And
interesting. Now that might be an angle. I haven't gone that way. So that's now you got me thinking.
You've been out there touching people's lives for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. I heard about you. I heard one of your first speeches. I think it was for the school state Future Business Leaders of America that I heard you speak. I'm sure of it. It was
FSBLA or something.
Yes.
Was it in Austin? Where was that?
Yeah, you know what? They have it all over the place. But
yeah,
Mrs.
Interesting.
Yes, right. But what about crowdfunding?
Yeah, I don't like the idea.
Come on, it's money. You got.
I know.
Maybe
but
this is exactly.
I like to give a value for value exchange. That's what I'm. You know what I'm saying?
No. Okay. So you got to believe that people will believe in you to give $10 or $5 or $25. I mean, there are so many people that will be encouraged to actually give you some money to take you to the Olympics at your age. Hell yes. And do a whole marketing thing around it. And oh my God, I can just see it, and you're online and you are selling, you can be selling some t-shirts and I'm going to the Olympics.
What? Something that might be that along those lines that I would, that I would go for is, the Greek bobsled team did this a few years ago. A bobsled's big, right? But you can do it on a luge too. You can actually, if you did a contribution, let's say it's $100 or 20 or whatever it was, and you send a picture of you, right? At the end, you take all the contributors, let's say there's 1,000 of them, and with a picture, you can make something, right? You might say, live your dreams or something. And that's going to be the picture that's going to be over the sled, right? So you're going to be riding with me at the Olympics, right? Your picture will be, and it says something cool like that. And they raised a lot of money.
Yeah, I think I think you are not looking at the opportunities right in front of you, because I bet you, if I contacted all my son's friends, that they'll remember you, and they're all successful young men right now, that I could badger them to contribute to your dream. I mean, guaranteed, because I was one of the parent advisors,
You're bringing up that business FBLA. FBLA, yeah, that FBLA. Yeah. The first year and a half I spoke at schools, right? Then it became all corporate. And believe it or not, today, because of COVID and because of the election, right? When there's an election year, they kind of hold on to their money. Today, government and schools are booking. I'm going back to schools now, virtually, because they're still spending money because they got money from the government, right? And corporations are holding back still. So I'm back to schools. So maybe I need to start calling some FBLAs. That's good.
Absolutely. I've got the state. I'm sure I've still got the state contact.
Oh, Veronica, maybe you need to be my
campaign manager.
I'm serious.
Campaign
I'm serious. Yeah, we make it a win-win. You know what I'm saying? I'm serious. I'm not.
Let's go for it.
Be part of the team.
If you don't ask,
you got to ask Kate or GET.
I know. Won't get. Yeah, that's true.
This is what we've been saying.
I have to go. I'm so sorry. Just wanted to say, Ruben, eres una inspiración increíble. Ha sido maravilloso escucharte y conocerte. Thank you so much. It was amazing to meet you. You're an inspiration of what human mind is possible. And when you decide to make something, you get it. It's really, please follow Veronica's advice. And we will have everybody's support, including myself, please.
Bueno, un fuerte abrazo. Chao. Un beso.
Take care. Love you all. Bye-bye.
Well, awesome.
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Did we wear you out?
Women's groups better. I think I'm going to start myself a women's group. That's
There we go.
Y'all are a whole lot more fun, I tell you.
Actually, I've decided after listening to you, and I've been thinking about it, is translating my books into Spanish as well, because there's a whole continent of Spanish people out there, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah.
Very
you got
good.
something, Heidi?
All right, guys. It was great meeting you. You know, I'm easy to find. Okay. If you decide you want to be my campaign manager, I'm serious. Just email me or something, and we'll work something out.
Thank you.
You buy a bigger boat.
There we go.
Hey, Ruben, I just wanted to tell you, thank you so much, that I lived in Vermont. I wrote it in the thing that I went to Lake Placid, and I was standing there in my shorts. So I think it was 1988, because I still have the pin that they were doing us. And and we used to watch you guys. We used to stand there and watch you guys. I remember being in shorts and watching.
How funny.
Yeah.
I remember that lady in shorts. Yeah, I remember now.
Remember those pink shorts?
Yeah. No, let me tell you something. Back in the day, the first 10 years at least, I would fly People's Express, right? That was the cheapest way to get to Lake Placid. And I would fly into Burlington, Vermont. I'd go to New York, then Burlington, Vermont, and you could never get the connection the same day. So I spent easily 10 nights at the upstairs of that little tiny Burlington, Vermont airport, just sleeping there, right on the floor, and then catch the plane to Lake Placid, to Saranac Lake the next day, and then drive in.
If I had only known, I was right there.
They should have a plaque there with my name.
Bedroom. Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Ruben. I appreciate you being here, and everybody for sticking around, asking your questions, and some really just great nuggets were dropped, and looking forward to seeing, this come together. Ruben I vote for Ruben in 2024. Is that it?
2020, 2022, 2020,
2020.
2026, 2026.
2026.
2022 is no way.
Okay. Okay. Ruben.
Oh, I better go work out.
Ruben.
All right, guys. Hey, that was a blast. Thanks for putting it together.
Thanks so much. Everybody have a great day. Bye-bye now.
Thank you. Thanks, Linda.
You're welcome. Thanks for being here, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for this amazing experience.
You're welcome.